Live from Cool Boys Central.
You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Hold your dicks and rub your tits.
You'll be ice cold.
Here come the Cool Boys.
Just a young boy.
So cool.
So cool.
So cool.
I see cool boys.
Well, you drink skim milk, don't you?
No, I drink no milk.
You don't drink any milk at all?
No milk, no. Milk is for babies. When you grow up, you have to drink beer.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron, 1977.
Ooh, that's a Blue Moon limited release summer honey wheat, and it tastes like shit.
Really?
Yes, I already had a couple. They taste like shit.
That crisp sound was the sound of Red's Wicked Apple Cider, which I'm drinking tonight.
And that was the sound of red wine going down my cum hole.
The throat. All right.
I thought your cum hole was your asshole because you wanted to get fucked by Zangief, not or whatever this, whatever that would you rather would be.
No, it's definitely my throat.
Greetings, Cool Boys Nation, and welcome to the Cool Boys Podcast. As always, I'm Felk, and I'm here with
Ballard.
And Nolan.
No, that's a cum shot right there.
Splooch.
Okay.
Sploochies.
Splash. Splash is like one of the greatest words when you said it in a gay voice. Splash.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the remake.
He splashed me. He splashed all over me. It was sick.
So what's new with you guys?
Noli, you were just in the beautiful paradise. Where were you?
I was in the Aloha State. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's the nation of Hawaii.
It is the Aloha State, but it's also called the Paradise of the Pacific.
And I remember that in the early 90s, Dan Quayle was speaking in Hawaii once said, Hawaii is a great nation and it is with us. And a lot of people speculated that he did not know he was in America.
He said that.
Yeah.
It's a great nation.
Well, Noli, how was Hawaii? What'd you do?
It was good. We went there for a wedding, so a couple days were tied up in that kind of stuff. You know, it was relaxing, but not as relaxing as a normal trip would be. But, you know, good times were had.
But structured, at least.
It was structured, very structured.
It looked like you got to ride in an aeroplane or a helicopter.
Well, you do take an airplane there, unless you're going by boat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it took a little helicopter ride around the beautiful island of Oahu.
Whirlybird.
Also took a boat around the island of Oahu as well. So I flew. I was by air, land, and sea.
Hey, so how many times have you been to Hawaii? You been there before?
I've been there many times, but I haven't been to Oahu since I was a little child. But have either of you been on a helicopter before?
I've never been to Hawaii. I thought that's what you were going to ask. I've been on a helicopter.
Okay.
Yes, I've been on a helicopter, and I was on a helicopter in Kauai.
Yeah, see, I think a Kauai helicopter would be pretty badass.
It was.
Yeah, they're fine. I thought I'd be more nervous on them. They felt fine to me.
Was that your first helicopter?
Yeah, it was. And
wow.
I liked it. I liked it more when it was zooming across the ground more. When you're up in the air, I just felt like it's like a slow moving, like hot air balloon, even though you're going pretty fast.
For me, the first time in the helicopter, when it lifted off the ground, that got me like immediately like butterflies in my stomach, because it was just this weird concept of just suddenly being off the ground, but not attached to anything, not having cables attached to me, or, some kind of like, pylon system attached to me. It was just literally like, just whoop, you're floating. Like that to me, I was like, whoa, that was weird. Yeah. And then I got really used to it. But when he got close to the cliffs, around like Waimea Canyon, to me that made me a little nervous, because I just kept thinking like, oh man, if you wreck this, we can't bail. You ride a helicopter all the way down.
Yeah, that's when it's worth it to me, is when you're getting close to stuff. And he did a couple hard banks, and my stomach did not like those as much.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that made me also kind of be like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's fucking loud, though. I think that's the one thing they undersell in movies is how loud a helicopter is.
Yeah, and the constant vibration. Like, you kind of just... You get a weird vibe just by vibrating for a solid... I was on it for an hour, so that's like... When I got off, it felt like seasick. It was hard to walk for a second. I don't know if you got that.
No, not with after getting off a helicopter, but I understand the feeling off of like roller coasters and stuff. But yeah, it was very odd to be on a helicopter more so than a plane. I'm very used to planes, but it was fucking awesome. I love flying helicopters in GTA 5 way more than I love flying a plane. I just love that.
Oh yeah, helicopters are fun.
I just want I started doing multiplayer GTA 5 recently, and just to like play with it. And did you finally pay for the subscription?
Only 5 years late.
No, I did. I'm doing the Beast. I'm doing this thing called the Beast, and or the Burden or something like that. I forget what it's called, but it's like this alternate game you can play if you push like R2 while you're loading. Huh. And it gets you online without having to pay.
I'm thinking I'm going to jump back into GTA this summer because there's absolutely dog shit coming out as far as games for the next 6 months.
Oh my God. But you know what's really got me super excited is Red Dead Redemption 2, whatever they end up calling it.
Yeah, but that's like 4 years away.
Enjoy playing that in November 2018.
Yeah.
I will.
I mean, it's like that is so far out that I can't even factor that into like my current play schedule. No. So real fast, then can we just do a quick update on because E3 sucked this year and there's nothing
no. It's
out.
not getting to E3. He's still in Hawaii. We haven't got anything in Hawaii yet.
I don't need this. What else do you want to know about Hawaii?
Did you sunbathe?
No, I don't sunbathe that much because my wife is white and pasty, and I get sunburned. Not easily, but if I get sunburned, it will definitely hurt. So I just take it as a positive sign not to get out in the sun too much. But I definitely floated in the ocean and swam in the ocean a handful of times.
What about jacuzzi? Do you do any Hawaiian jacuzzi?
No Hawaiian jacuzzi. I don't. Is that when you just bathe in a cum bath?
Yeah, it's when you bathe in a group of Hawaiian men's cum.
That's a West Hollywood jacuzzi.
Oh,
a WeHo jacuzzi.
I prefer that one.
Yeah.
Well, did you do any hiking or any trails?
No,
waterfalls.
I do not hike. No.
What did you do on your free
wedding?
time?
It wasn't a fun trip. It was a wedding trip.
Yeah, but there's some free time when you're not like part of the bride and groom or the party.
Well, you can check your Snapchat because we did have a Miata was given to us. Felk, I drove a Miata for the first time, top down, tits out.
Oh, whoa! This became the episode show topic.
The show topic, Miata.
Which gen? Which gen was it?
I'm guessing it was in the early 2000s, maybe 2008 or 9.
Okay, did it look like mine? Do you remember it, or did it have like extra bulges to it? That would be so. There's 4 generations. I'm guessing you were driving an NC.
I'll tell you, the fucking gas tank button is hidden in the center console. You have to like pull down like 2 compartments to find the.
That's all 4 gens.
Button.
That's all 4 gens.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming it was an NC. It was the 3rd generation, not the brand new ones, which look a lot more angular.
It wasn't brand new, no.
Okay. What did you think?
It was just what I thought, man. It was a cramped little car, but the top was down and our tits were out.
Standard or automatic?
It was auto.
Oh, so you didn't really drive a Miata?
I guess not.
Yeah, no. That 4-speed auto transmission it kind of defeats the purpose of the fun. Tell me this: did you put the top down yourself?
Yes.
No.
It was
already down.
A button. It was a button, a release latch, and then I guess I had to throw it back, and then it snapped in.
Release latch in the middle.
Yes.
That was the 3rd gen. Okay, so that's my least favorite generation of Miata. For listeners, I drove a Miata for 12. I have personally owned 2 Miatas with a 3rd Miata kind of thrown in there, NAs and then NBs. I've driven Miatas for about 13 years. I almost bought the 4th gen Miata just recently, even though I have a perfectly fine car, because I fucking think it's the best car of all time. And
on a side note, this guy also researched gay porn for days on end for our last episode, which everyone should go listen to. Because if you haven't, it's a fantastic episode. It's full of great laughs and big cocks, monster cocks.
I'm not sure what Miatas could possibly have to do with gay porn. That's a connection that I cannot draw.
You are the only one then.
And I can go on a full rant about why the Miata gay stereotype comes in But that's the best thing about the Miata is that is the only sports car that works on chicks, because anything else, a Mustang, a fucking BMW convertible or whatever, girls, it's like the guy who hits on a girl like immediately or tells a girl she's so pretty 3 lines in. It comes on so strong. It's so aggro, it's so masculine. But a Miata is just feminine and subtle enough that it's disarming. I can't tell you the compliments of like, oh, it's so cute. I hear cute all the time with the Miata. Well, I want to be cute. I don't want to be right in the beginning. It's just charming in a way, and that's where the gay jokes come in. Is that because it is kind of disarming and subtle. But
so you're like this cute little fluffy bunny that's all like, like, hey, I'm not gonna lick your asshole or like, pressure you into anal sex, and then all of a sudden you become this fucking just butt tiger all of a sudden, and you're just like, I'm gonna get this fucking ass.
Yeah, a cute bunny rather than like a fucking wolf or something. Because those guys don't get their asses eaten. You gotta be the cute. You gotta be the cute cuddly bunny first.
Gotta set them up
real fast. So you drove on a curvy road and everything?
Oh, drove on the curvy roads, drove in the tropical roads, drove into snorkeling. So I got out with my snorkel gear on, went in the water, got back in the Miata with my snorkel gear on, and drove away.
Fucking
You
love
went snorkeling, see any cool fish?
I GoPro'd the whole thing. I have not checked the footage yet.
You have the GoPro of you in the Miata?
I have iPhone footage of me in the Miata.
Okay.
I'll send it to you if you really want me to after this.
Yes.
Please, will you do a Cool Boys review of Miatas?
I wish I did it while I had the car.
Well, just do it with voiceover and just show the B-roll.
Yeah.
For UK listeners, we're talking about the Mazda MX-5.
Yeah. See, it was a vacation that also felt kind of rushed, if you know what I mean. So it was like,
yeah, structured.
It was very structured.
Yeah.
I could only imagine though having the kids there, because that would have been a fucking shit show.
Jesus. Yeah. Sometimes it's fun not to have them.
Do you know real fast what happened to my Miata that I gave it back to my family in exchange for a better car, and they sold it to like a family friend, and I'm pretty sure it was in like it just died like a month later. So you immortalized that Miata on film, and then it died from this world. And
that's right. I have been in the Miata, if you count the one stunt I did where I ran and jumped onto the back of your trunk and hung on as you drove, and then I climbed in.
That was the most dangerous thing I've ever seen anyone do, by the way.
What freeway were you on?
We were on a road in downtown LA. I actually think that was the most dangerous thing I've ever done.
Yeah, you easily could have fallen off that and gotten run over by like your leg or something.
I would say you were going a good 25, 30 miles per hour.
And you kept telling me, or either you or
go faster.
Yeah. So
gotta get the shot, man. Gotta get the shot.
Well, you know what? I gotta say, I'm so happy I stopped Felk from an E3 rant, because we didn't get into a Miata rant.
Yeah. Moving on. Let's talk about.
Well, how about this, Felk? Let's go over E3 real quick.
You can't tell me you drove a Miata for the first time and not expect me to ask questions.
Oh, I love it. No, I love it, Felk. But let's go back to E3 for a little bit. Tell us about E3.
E3 sucked this year. There was not a single new or really exciting game announced. Was there anything?
I missed everything in Hawaii, and I came back, and like, there's nothing to even watch. So I don't even know what the fuck happened.
Nope.
I think it was Spider-Man was the only game that came out.
That was announced last year. And they just showed more gameplay.
They showed the footage of it, and it like blew everyone away.
Did it? It just looks like a Spider-Man game to me.
Is it like it's like Arkham Asylum with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's blew everyone away because everybody like there's nothing else there, So it's like, oh, this is the only thing that's there. The gameplay footage of Spider-Man, and it looks amazing.
There's a more powerful Xbox coming out. Great.
What the fuck's up with that?
That doesn't mean any shit. That's just fucking iPhone 5. You know what I mean? Like that'll be the case forever.
So are we now releasing like 4 versions of a console now during a console cycle?
Yeah, pretty much.
God damn it! Fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It might not be. It might just be like the iPhone 5, iPhone 5S, iPhone 6, iPhone 6. This is the S.
But that's the problem we're getting in with video game consoles, that we're getting into these like versions of them, like multiple versions of them. Like, I mean, like there's no need really for that game.
I got a PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Well,
I think technology is moving really fast now. So after like 2 years, console's outdated, and if you want to keep the console life at least like 6 to 7 years. So I think they're just releasing
originally
these.
they wanted it like I thought 7 years was the average, but they're not doing that anymore. If you think about it,
It's going too fast, man.
It's way too fast. I mean, because people don't want to be buying consoles are too expensive to buy. But I mean, if you really think about it, they're the same price as an iPhone or an iPad.
Not well.
Right.
It depends on the one you get. My iPhone is like fucking $1,000, but that's just
Exactly.
a shitty
So
plan.
exactly, even like some iPads and iPhones are even more expensive than these consoles.
I don't know. I have a powerful PC. There's no reason to ever buy an Xbox now because that's the one thing that Microsoft announced last year was that there's no such thing as a Xbox exclusive anymore. It's just a Microsoft exclusive, meaning Halo and whatever else is just going to be playable on Windows. So it's like you got a powerful PC. One less reason to ever buy an Xbox. So.
Who do you think goes the way of Sega next? Do you think it's Nintendo or Microsoft? It's not going to be PlayStation.
So Microsoft.
I think it's gonna be Microsoft, dude.
No,
they don't got anything left, man. They're running on fumes right now.
No,
Nintendo almost was
no.
literally another Sega. Like
So-
Nintendo almost had nothing.
But Nintendo still has IPs that people care about.
Sega fell apart and didn't just stop making hardware. They just became like a shell of themselves. Microsoft's profit does not come from Xbox hardware sales. Their profit comes from their software, and which is a massive
right.
income.
Well, we're talking about Xbox, obviously.
They'll
right?
just stop.
So, I mean,
Xbox will be the first to go, but Xbox will just stop being.
You think Xbox will become more of the next Sega than Nintendo would be?
It's a bad analogy. Xbox is just going to become an app within Windows 10, which is what it already is. You go in the Xbox store in Windows 10. I don't know if you know that. So,
well, do you think Nintendo then will go the way of Sega eventually? Because I think Nintendo's got to be on its like last life.
I don't think anyone's Sega. What happened to them was they completely fell apart as a company and are now just like a fraction of the size that they used to be. None of the companies. That's not going to happen in any of the three companies right now.
I don't know. I think if Nintendo lost consoles, I think they would like maybe hold on to Mario for like maybe 5 more years, 10 more years tops, and then they would get rid of it.
That's the thing about Nintendo. You know, they have Mario and they have Zelda and all that Mario shit that goes with it, but like we keep counting them out, and they come out and they fucking knock something out of the park like they did with the Wii, which I still don't think is a good system, but it sold like fucking hotcakes.
The Wii was a long time ago. They haven't had something like that in a long time.
So the Wii U died.
Yeah.
And dead on arrival, and now Switch is popular as fuck. So I mean, who knows?
Is it?
That's off one game that's rated like one of the highest games ever rated. I want to buy the system to play this game, but and then that thing sells.
The 3DS is the old. This is their biggest hit, and the Switch hasn't even come close to it. I think.
You know, one thing that we haven't mentioned is that 2/3 of the Cool Boys have seen Evan Stone in person.
I called
Does
him.
this match with anything we just said?
I don't know if it really matters. I saw him outside of the SAG building. I'm guessing he was doing SAG stuff, and he was on like a Skype call or something, talking to his phone. But I smiled at him, and he was like, "Thanks for watching," and because he knew I recognized him, I go, "You sir are a legend," and he laughed.
Yeah.
And then Noel, you saw him recently, right?
I didn't have the balls to say anything to him. I was at Lowe's Hardware, looking for knobs.
You're looking for knobs and you found a big knob, and I was surprised how fucking small he is because he was much shorter than me, and I assumed he was much taller.
Yeah, you told me that, and so I was expecting to look for like a 5'2" troll. I mean, he's not 5'2". He's more like, I'd say like 5'8".
5'7"? Yeah, 5'7".
Yeah, 5'8".
I didn't say 5'2".
He looks exactly the way he looks on screen, except he's maybe a little stockier now, and he was looking for hardware at 7:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So his life doesn't sound that glamorous anymore.
I think I either intentionally or accidentally searched in a like long ass thread of iMessages for Evan Stone because I was like, has one of you seen him before I sent that? And there is a text from Nolan from like 2013 that says something like, stop the presses. Evan Stone has cut his hair. The world makes no more sense. Something like that.
Yeah, he did at one point. He cut his hair. They went short.
He had beautiful long hair, and then he went with like a regular cut.
When I saw him,
you went back 4 years worth of text?
No, Search did.
Oh, okay.
I searched Evan Stone because I was like, I was gonna say I'd seen him, and I was like, wait, has one of you seen him? Because then that'll take some of the steam out of me seeing him.
All right, let's Evan Stone our way back to E3. What's going on there?
That's about it, man. There's a fucking pirate game that looks like shit. I hated the pirate stuff from Assassin's Creed 3, so I have no idea why they're making that into a game.
What about Evan Stone's Pirates?
Oh, that's yeah. There you go. That brings
Jesse
us back.
Jane.
Are we back in E3 or are we back in Evan?
Evan. You're always back in Evan.
Well, I mean, do you want me to do my updates real fast?
Yeah, why don't you do your updates? Go ahead.
I watched like 3 movies and I could barely even remember what they were until I told you that I watched Remembered. I also watched Ocean's 11 because it was on Amazon Prime and hadn't seen it since the theaters. It's fine.
It's still good.
Cool.
It's
cool.
good.
Yeah,
It's good.
It's still good. I mean, people don't get to be cool in movies and hang out anymore. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows.
I'm still waiting to watch that.
Forgot it as I was watching it that I was even watching it.
It's very much the cartoon done as a movie.
Yeah.
And when you see it, you go, oh, yeah, you really can't make cartoons into movies. Not like verbatim.
Basically, it's like, oh, man, hey, young memories of nostalgia. Just the like, what do you want to see out of a TMNT movie? Oh, I want to see just like the cartoon with Krang and the rhino and the fucking pig, and they put it on screen. And it's like, oh, yeah, I was an idiot when I was a kid, and I like this shit.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm still gonna watch it. It's Amazon keeps reminding me that it's available on Prime now. It's like, turn it on.
Did you watch the first one?
I did, and I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was fine.
This one somehow doesn't even more right by the cartoon, and it's just somehow even worse.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, the first one's good, but I like the first one, but this one was like shit.
Forgot to mention, I saw another sequel on the plane, John Wick 2.
Oh, no spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
John Wick 2. Oh, okay. Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like the first one more.
Like the first one.
Yeah.
I think
kind
the
of.
first one's
No
better.
spoilers.
It's more talky.
No spoilers.
It's more talky.
No spoilers. It's still, what happens, this is not spoiling anything, Ballard. I won't say anything, actually. There's just a lot of killing. And eventually a lot of killing just catches up with your brain and you're desensitized to everything that's happening.
Yeah,
I
makes sense.
I would say the body count in this is John Wick kills at least 200 people.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of Wiccan.
I'm not kidding. But
Chapter 200.
the way it ends, my dick shot through the roof of the airplane with the way it ends.
Oh, well,
Really?
just take your headphones off, Ballard.
No, really?
No, we won't spoil it.
Because I have to listen to I have to edit this back.
Are you saying? Oh, yeah. For some reason I thought I was editing this one. It's the next one. Okay, well, don't just watch John Wick 2 right now.
How about this? I'll
Wait.
watch John Wick 2 for the next episode. And Cool Boys, why don't you guys just prepare yourselves now? If you want to be part of the next episode, watch John Wick 2, and maybe we'll do a special John Wick 2 50% spoiler cast or something. I don't know.
We can do it in 10 minutes.
I love John Wick. I love the first one a lot.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
I thought the world building they did in it was incredible.
And you'll like
I'd love to
John
see
Wick
that.
2.
Yeah, two does that to like the extreme.
And then, Felk, what's the other movie you said you saw?
I watched Daddy's Home, and I don't have anything to say about it other than I miss when Will Ferrell was funny. It was a simpler time.
Yeah. Well, I hope The House is
The
good,
House,
but
I doubt it.
But yeah, Daddy's Home was kind of sad. It had moments, and but it wasn't as good as I hoped.
It was lazy. It felt like it was just like they didn't need to flesh out things. Like the whole movie, I was wondering who the fuck Mark Wahlberg is. Is he supposed to be like a play on like a deadbeat dad, or is he like some kind of globe-trotting cool dad? It's like the movie never figured it out.
He's literally just supposed to be the don't judge a book by his cover dad. And then Hannibal Buress, I thought, was just this weird character that ended up staying at the house.
That was weird.
That was weird.
That
It
did
didn't make
not
sense.
work.
Well, Daddy's Home is very stupid and dumb, and it's bad comedy, and it's very similar to something I saw this week as well, which was Fist Fight. And Fist Fight is terrible as well, and it's one of those movies that like it doesn't even exist in a real world like high school. Like it exists in a world where like Columbine has never taken place, nor has any like violent crime ever happened to any like kids, because the movie is about this crazy prank day that all the seniors get to do, which is just out of control pranks that are just borderline violent and criminal and like sex criminal even. And then it's just like the teachers have to just deal with it. But Ice Cube's the only teacher that loses his shit. But the way he loses his shit is so off the wall that it just could never play in reality. I do not recommend Fist Fight unless you just can't help but watch yourself some Ice Cube and Charlie Day.
Yeah.
Then go ahead and go see
No,
it.
that was available for free on my flight, and that was a hard pass.
Yeah. I didn't even. I forgot that movie even happened, and I thought you were talking about the Foot Fist way.
There's some
like
funny
you
jokes
just
in it,
finally
like-
watched it.
Kunal from Silicon Valley is great in it as a security guard. Jillian Bell was great as well. And the other thing I watched was Neill Blomkamp's 20-minute short for his new Oates series. The what was it called? It's Oates Studio Volume 1, Raka. That's Rakka. And it's Neill Blomkamp's film, and what it is, it's truly just, these are like going to be 3 different movies that are more concept pieces where you get essentially chunks of a film kind of cut together to make it a movie, but they don't end. And that was definitely evident with the Raka one. It felt very much like Neill Blomkamp's commercials and old shorts he used to do, but it also felt a lot like the opening to District 9, which is kind of, that documentary feel, and
it's
kind
also
of all over the place.
Neill
And
Blomkamp's only good movie.
Okay, so be straight up with me. Should I even watch these?
Yeah. Neill Blomkamp,
You know what?
you're done.
Raka was really interesting looking and visually stunning, and the aliens were great, and it kind of does play on some like general alien conspiracies, but like, I don't know. I mean, it really depends.
I just don't think I want to waste my time.
I'm done with the guy. I'm done with him.
Yeah, I might be done with him too.
I'd see Raka as a feature-length film. And if that was shit, then yeah, I think I'd be done with them. Sigourney Weaver looked great in it, and she was doing a great job in it. And you could tell that she's kind of doing this as a gift because of Alien 5 didn't go through.
I love his style though. I mean, like, I want him to succeed. I think he's got talent. I've 2 movies in a row now just been like not good, and
So they're free right now. This one, Raka's free to watch, and so will the next 2 episodes of this volume. And the idea is that once you watch these ones for free, hopefully they get enough funding, and then you can have to pay. You have to pay for the next series, which will be volume 2, is my guess. If you're interested in Neill Blomkamp at all, or in like hyper realistic kind of sci-fi and R-rated, hard R rated like content, Raka is up there. I recommend it to see it. It's just 21 minutes, and it is interesting. But I mean, there is no plot to speak of really, and it does not conclude. Nothing concludes. The only thing that's interesting about it, if you're an alien conspiracy theorist at all, is that it seems that they're using the kind of the basis of the reptilians as the villain characters, and that there may be some hints to the Andromedans, which are like, if you kind of believe in the ancient astronaut theory, Andromedans would be what are essentially angels, and they are like potentially beings or energy beings, and they're like bluish and violet and whitish in color. So there is a reference to that where you see like an energy being that looks like an angel come out of nowhere to help some guy who's under attack by the whatever the bad villains are, the bad aliens. I forget what they're called, but they look like reptiles. They
You
look like
could
giant
not be
lizards
describing
walking.
a harder hard pass from me. I do not believe in any of that shit, and I really don't have put a lot of value in it. I roll my eyes at all of it.
What, you mean conspiracy theorists, or
what,
or all the alien stuff?
Yeah, the reptilian. Like, okay, maybe we knew someone who believed that reptilians were real, and I just was like, really?
Oh God, who?
Yeah.
Will Ballard,
totally.
you had me at gay penetration.
Well, Raka is full of gay penetration.
Let me respond to Ballard's, because I know Neill Blomkamp has fooled me once. Shame on him, but after Chappie, I was like, this guy doesn't know how to make movies. He is a VFX guy who had a good idea, which was District 9, and had Peter Jackson guiding him. And without that, he doesn't know what the fuck to do. He should not be directing movies, I don't think.
I think you might be dead on the money, honestly, with that assessment.
Excellent VFX supervisor.
He is, and I think he is, and I think Raka,
totally
when you see
talented
it,
guy.
could be very much the same thing. I think it could be a lot like Chappie. I thought Elysium it was funny that I thought Elysium was not very good when I saw it, and it's funny to think that that's like his second best movie. That like Chappie is that much worse.
I couldn't make it more than 20 minutes into Elysium. The heavy-handedness of it was like, I get it. A bunch of rich people are telling me how rich people are bad.
Okay. You would have loved the ending where they literally, not only is it heavy-handed, right? The ending hits you over the head multiple times. Literally, the final images of the movie. This is like, oh my God, I get it.
Give all your fucking money away, Matt Damon, and then you'll have a goddamn point.
He's trying to save water. But yeah, but I am interested in the next 2 episodes of this volume. They are not directed by Neill Blomkamp. They are directed by other sci-fi directors.
Oh, good.
And
Joseph
stars Dakota
Kaczynski,
Fanning.
maybe another fucking VFX
guy who somehow became a director.
Wait, are you saying Joseph Kosinski because you know that, or are you just assuming?
I thought I heard his name in association with this project, but
I don't know. See, I actually don't know who the next two directors are.
Oh, I bought a fidget spinner.
I saw that.
They're neat.
Get out of here.
I'm on YouTube. Now let's turn up the heat and pump up the jam. It's time for the Cool Boy Show topic.
Report preliminary findings.
Not worried about her. We gotta keep him gagged.
Cool Boy Nation, pop your cocks and drop your tops.
It might be interesting and important for you to know.
It's time for our Cool Boy Show topic.
Hey, I like that.
Spoilers.
No sweat.
So cool.
I always felt like my place is America. And when I was 10 years old, I only dreamed of coming to America and being the greatest and just being different than everybody else.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron, 1977.
So tonight, our Cool Boy Show topic is Pumping Arnold. The ultimate cool boy, Arnold Alois, or fucking in English, Schwarzenegger, was brought to us on heavenly bods in Thal, Styria, Austria on June 30th in the year of our boy, 1947. He was so cool that he would make any boy swoon and stiff and every girl sopping and soggy. Not sure what sopping is, but he definitely made us soggy.
Sopping wet.
Yeah.
Gotcha. By the tender age of 15, Arnold had begun muscle building, and by the legal age of 18, joined the military for his country, where it would be proven that he was the most impressive specimen Austria would ever produce. So, to continue this fabulous speech, at 20 years old, Arnie became the Herculean mass that we would all come to love, known as Mr. Universe. Then, for just funsies, he would win Mr. Olympia 7 times. In the happening 70s, the Austrian oak would take a deep plunge into the rectum that is Hollywood in a film called Hercules in New York as Arnold Strong. They dubbed over him, as the assholes they were, because they did not see the brilliance and glory that is the Schwarzenegger accent. His next series of films were white hot and hard as fuck, as he went in front of the lens of true auteurs: Cameron, Verhoeven, McTiernan, Milius, Reitman, Glosser, Glazer, Lester, Ann Lester. Did you forget an Ann there?
There's a lot of typos and factual errors in this.
Ann Lester.
I don't know if you got Glazer and Lester on tours.
Yeah.
He didn't do Mr. Olympia just for funsies. That was really hard work for him.
Anyway, Arnold became the powerhouse he always dreamed of as a little sweet boy. So sweet and innocent, angelic even, pure as the heavens and the snow. His name was on all the girls' lips and on all the boys' tips. It was an experience shared by millions all at once, and it was cleansing. After tearing up the box office for decades, Arnie would move on to the next phase of his career, destroying the California government for 8 years as the Governator. Many more things happened, blah, 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 Special Olympics, blah, 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 cheating on his wife with a maid, blah, 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 had to go at Celebrity Apprentice, blah, 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 can't get in good movies anymore, blah, 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 had a long-standing feud with Trump, blah, blah, blah. Now Arnold Schwarzenegger rests his uncomfortably warm, sexy head at his home in L.A. Tonight, we'll be honoring this everlasting hard-on by giving our top 5 Arnold Schwarzenegger films.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Ballard, once the podcast's over, Google mixed metaphors and look at some examples.
I know what mixed metaphors are.
Do you?
That's exactly what that's why that thing was written that way.
Okay. So it was intentional.
I thought it was great. It was hard to read for the first time seeing it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is our show topic this evening. A man I have seen in person, shook the hand of. I think I'm about the exact same height as he is. He's not super tall, but he is several times my mass and a million times the man I will ever be.
Absolutely. Yep. I've seen him as well in person, met him, and also got his signature on my college degree.
Oh, wow.
Me too.
And I voted for him to be governor of California just so I could get him to sign my college degree.
Was he at your graduation?
No, but since I went to a UC, a University of California, he has to sign all the college degrees.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I'm sure it's a stamp.
He came to my school and got egged. Google it.
Oh, really?
Google it.
This is you went to a fucking hippie school? It's like, why'd they egg him?
I guess.
So he arrived. I went to Chapman University. He was supposed to be my commencement speaker, but he pulled out at the last minute. But he did tape an episode of Hardball with Chris Matthews there, and that's where I got to shake his hand. But a year or so before that, he hosted because the film school had a pretty nice theater. He hosted a special screening of Collateral Damage for charity, and he arrived in a helicopter landing on our football field. And so at the next 30 minutes, nobody knew he was coming because they kept it secret. But he spent like the next 30 minutes just shaking hands and taking photos with people, with students. He was one of the coolest people ever, like in person, that I've seen to like take time to just anyone who wants to acknowledge how cool he is and say hi. He'll give him time. It was really neat.
A true hero. Well, it'd be interesting just to bring up before we get into our top 5 that Terminator 6, apparently Arnold is back. And it's going to be James Cameron producing. What's his fucking face? The guy from that directed Deadpool.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's happening. I think that's practically going to be on the way. And then apparently also I was seeing that Triplets might actually be on the way. Arnold's actually hoping to get that as a script running and done and all that shit and making a movie out of that in the next few years.
Even less chance of happening. I think Terminator won't happen because Cameron is like knee deep and up people's ass, up his own ass with Blue Fairy movies.
Yeah, but Cameron's not doing Triplets.
No, but I'm saying that's not gonna. I'm saying Avatar or whatever. Fucking Terminator 6 is not gonna get made. Triplets is definitely not getting made.
Oh, I think you misunderstand the way James Cameron works. This is how James Cameron works. He shoots everything motion capture now, then sits back and then yells at everybody through email. I'm sure of it. Like, I'm sure he has plenty of time to produce another movie or even do it like 5 documentaries during the Avatar series. And then he just like literally just yell at people and be like, why does the fucking clothing not, move exactly the way their fabric would move? Their fabric is functioning on a planet that is 1/6 degree. Gravity is Earth. And that's why, and then like, he gets all upset at them.
I mean, one of my dying wishes would be for Cameron to direct Arnold's like fucking like Bon Voyage, like final farewell film as Terminator. That would be fantastic, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I want to see James Cameron direct the next Terminator film, and I want to see him direct it on the Marianas Trench. And it's about a movie about the Terminator being stuck at the bottom of the ocean, and he can't figure his way out of it.
I just want Arnold to have his Unforgiven, man. I just want him to have it. I don't know if he's going to get it.
That's what Maggie
Arnold
tried
deserves
to be.
Unforgiven as a Terminator movie, or as his character that's essentially, Running Man and Commando and Red Heat and all those variations of that character.
If he got one more Terminator, that would be an Unforgiven. Or if they just did one more film that was sort of like Last Action Hero, but maybe played it for realsies with a little bit of humor, but not in the movie world, but something where he's like a cop who's like. You gotta have a cop. We're missing these cop movies. What happened to the cop movies where one cop could stop like a fucking like nation of terrorists?
What if, Noli, if instead of like doing like another Last Action Hero movie or doing like a Terminator sequel for Arnold's, farewell movie for his Unforgiven, let's say, what if instead of all of those types of movies, we just do an actual Jack Slater movie?
I would take that too.
And just do like a legit Jack Slater movie.
Nobody knows who that is.
No, who gives a fuck? It doesn't have to be an IP anybody knows. Arnold's the IP still.
And name it fucking Jack Slater 5.
Name it Jack Slater 6 even or something. Yeah. That'd be fucking awesome because you saw Jack Slater 5. Isn't that what Last Action Hero is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but speaking of 5.
Well, top 5. No, last one, actually, before we move on to the top 5, I just want to go over a couple of updates for Arnold as well. So if you guys can go to the links on the document, click on Iron Hug. Yeah. This is really important. This is Arnold's something he's doing right now. It's called Iron Hug. If you click on the link,
he literally just hugged his son, and somehow that's a story. It's literally a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger hugging his son. Let me read it. Well,
let me read it. Let me read the article headline for Noli at least. Iron Hug. Arnold Schwarzenegger gives his handsome son Patrick an affectionate squeeze in Beverly Hills. So I thought that was interesting. Does anybody want to elaborate?
This is on May 31st, 2017.
Yes.
It's a great story. I love how Arnold's wearing camo with blue gym shorts.
He's rocking the camo orange shirt, gym shorts, blue. Yeah, so the article just goes on to say, this is on Daily Mail. Arnold Schwarzenegger and his son Patrick embraced with a big hug after grabbing lunch with a pal in Beverly Hills, California on Wednesday, which sounds really nice. And the 69-year-old star wore a camouflage jacket over a white V-neck shirt, blue athletic shorts, and white Adidas sneakers with white socks, which is, very fashionable. And the bodybuilding icon had his reddish-brown hair combed back and was later seen vacating the area in his lavish red Hummer, which is just, standard operating procedure for Arnold. So I thought that was nice.
That
was really
the
nice.
Daily Mail is just like Us Weekly. It's like a tabloid thing that posts.
Shut your mouth, Felk. Shut it.
If you look like it's like Reese Witherspoon goes shopping for milk. Like
that's breaking news.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's important shit, Felk. All right, well, so I want everyone to click on the next link down. It's called House Hunting. Let's click on that one, please. Next. And so, Felk, have you had a chance also to review this link as well? This is an update of Arnold Schwarzenegger as well. So, Noli, I'll read you the link. Because I know your computer's probably running slow. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver are house hunting for their kids, which is fantastic. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, the high-profile former couple are reportedly looking at pricey California homes for their children, Patrick and Catherine, which I thought was wonderful. Maria Shriver and Arnold Schwarzenegger have been pursuing the real estate market in Los Angeles, just not for themselves. The former couple reportedly, with Shriver leading the charge, showed interest in buying 2 houses directly across the street from each other for 2 of their 3 children. Oh, that's nice. They're neighbors. Isn't that nice? Just sounds wonderful.
Very nice.
So, very nice. So that was from the architecturaldigest.com, which is just a great source for Arnold Schwarzenegger news. If you're ever interested in looking for Arnold Schwarzenegger news, architecturaldigest.com is a great place to do it. All right, should we get into our top 5?
Thanks for the update.
Yeah. So when people think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, in addition to things like hugs and house hunting, occasionally people think about movies he's actually been in. So here are our top 5 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Who wants to go first?
I can go first because I have like an antidote.
Okay, antidote.
Okay.
Or anecdote, you mean?
Anecdote, yes,
Okay.
an anecdote. I have an anecdote. So I guess I'll go first, but before I go, I will say that I chose movies which I felt best represented Arnold Schwarzenegger. I didn't pick his best movies per se, just in the way that when we did our episode of Caged Up, I didn't pick the best movies that Nicolas Cage was in. I picked the best movies that represented Nicolas Cage. So for that reason, I will leave off Terminator 2, which is my favorite movie of all time, because I feel like it transcends the Arnoldism, if that makes any sense.
Okay. That's good, because otherwise we'd have to all have the same list probably.
Yeah, I think we'd all have the same list. So my number 5, it's probably going to put you guys on edge. And it's not the first action hero, but it's the last action hero.
Okay.
Oh, that's my number 4.
Wow.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Really?
Yeah.
Yours is not even an ironic list. Okay.
Yeah, see, I was my honorable mentions, I had Eraser there.
Really?
Because Eraser's the last great Arnold Schwarzenegger film we got. As far as representing everything he's about, the puns, the one-liners, the one-man verse 100. I mean, that's the last time we saw that. And that was
I think that's the last time we
1996.
saw quality action hero Arnold. I think the last great Arnold Schwarzenegger film, honestly, of that era, it was Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero was before Eraser, though.
And that's what I'm saying. I think Last Action Hero is the true end of his like great career. And I think Eraser is really just more like he could still do quality at that point, but he wasn't making great movies anymore.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about Last Action Hero now, or wait till your number 4?
Let's just do him as my number 4. So Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I think it represents everything, that Arnold's about. And it takes a lot of watches to actually appreciate it. First watch, you might be like, oh, that movie was stupid. Second watch, you might be like, yeah, I don't get it. By the third watch, though, you're like, I get what they're doing here. And they fucking pretty much nailed it.
Yep. All right. So I'll go next then. I guess so.
Okay.
My number 5 is Total Recall.
Okay.
Did anybody have Total Recall on their list?
I did
Yes.
not.
It's my number 4.
All right. Well, then, okay. So wait, fuck this. All right. So why don't we just get into Last Action Hero right now, and then we'll get into Total Recall after this.
Well, you can't do 2 4s before you do my 5.
No, we'll just do his number 5, and then we'll do my number 5 as his number 4. So
what's your number 5 again? Is it Total Recall or Last Action Hero?
Noise number 5 is Last Action Hero.
Let's talk about Last Action Hero.
We literally just swapped them.
Right.
So whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just get into Last Action Hero. So let's just get into that, and then we'll get into Total Recall next.
I mean, yeah, like what I just said, it takes a couple watches to get, but once you get it, it's hilarious. It's totally making fun of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He does a great job of making fun of himself. The action is good. It's fun. Once it gets to the real world, the movie kind of slows down a bit, and it's not as good. But
I love that part too, though.
Yeah, it's a whole different movie when that happens, and I think it's a fantastic film, man. I love.
I think it's
it.
5 boys, honestly.
It's 5 boys for me too.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It really is great. It is literally plays on Arnold Schwarzenegger tropes.
Everything.
And
sort of.
And the music is fucking incredible. Megadeth was the fucking song going into the opening for Jack Slater 4.
And the movie within the movie, Jack Slater 4. I want to see that fucking movie. It looked great.
And then Ian McKellen is Death.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that, I fucking loved Ian McKellen as Death.
So you guys think Last Action Hero is a good movie?
I do. I love it.
I think it's a great movie.
I think I'd give it three boys maybe. I think it is an ambitious film. It has a unique idea, but I feel like it's a failed execution. Like it was a meta story, not told. John McTiernan didn't direct it right. He directed it like it didn't quite mesh with the comedy that they were going for because the action was done straight. It never feels cohesive. It never adds up to one thing. And by the end, it's all over the place. There's shit that just does not fucking make sense. Like, oh, they're playing off like, what if a person from the real world came into an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Wouldn't it be fucking crazy that he'd point out all these tropes that you know from Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? But then there's a cartoon cat is a cop. Don't remember what Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's from.
It's just in the movies. Some things don't exactly work as well as the others. Like you said, it's a very ambitious film, and I think after a couple watches, if you either love it or you don't, and if you don't, that's fine. But I happen to love it. I think it's a very fun movie to watch.
I love it. I think it's an incredible movie, and it's right up my alley. And I love that essentially the mafia boss is a giant fart gag in the end.
Yeah.
And I love that elevator
stupid.
sequence.
I thought that was a scene.
But I love that elevator sequence because when that fucking helicopter takes out the elevator, and then Arnold's holding onto the edge of the elevator, and then the metal breaks off, and he starts falling in slow motion, and he just lets go of the piece, and it starts falling with them, and he's just free falling. That's a fucking great shot.
That shot where the elevator breaks away and Arnold goes over, that's iconic to me. Like, that's a great shot ingrained in my head. Like, I saw it in the summer trailer and was like, I'm gonna see that fucking movie for that shot.
Yeah, that was an incredible shot. And the whole movie's full of fucking action shots and hot shots.
But Folk, I get what you say. It's very uneven.
To me, it's like adaptation. Basically, it's adaptation as an action movie, and you don't. That doesn't work. You can't break down what a movie is to the point where it falls apart. There's that I mentioned Ocean's 11, which is fun. That whole segment, you remember in Ocean's 12, where out of nowhere they pull out the fact that Julia Roberts' character apparently looks exactly like Julia Roberts.
Well, I love that. Ocean 12 is a horrible movie.
Yeah,
I love that.
And that ruins the entire movie because it puts it all as a dead halt and immediately is like, you're watching a movie. This is all meta. And it's like, that's pretty much what Last Action Hero is. Like, it has unique ideas, like the scene where Arnold has to go to like a Blockbuster. The kid takes him there to and Terminator's played by Stallone. Like, that's a unique idea, but it completely takes you out of any concept of like you're watching a movie anymore. Now you're just thinking about other. It does not gel. Even as a kid, I could not get into it. Too much of a high concept that does not mesh with its execution.
I don't think it's a movie for kids. I think you need to watch it when you're older and be like, I know what they're doing here. And like you said, not everything gels. Like, the kid fucking goes up the wall and goes across the moon like E.T. and it's silly. And there's a cartoon cat and it's silly. But the stuff that does hit, it's like super ambitious, and it's just, I think it works more often than it fails.
And Charles Dance is a great fucking villain. He's a great action B-movie villain.
He might be on my top 10 list of villains just because he's so good in that movie.
He's so good in that movie. And his eyes, give me a break.
Have a nice day.
I love that Last Action Hero. And I thought I like the meta shit. I love when Arnold bumps into Arnold, or I love when Arnold bumps into Jack Slater, and he's just like, "Oh, the stunt double, you're amazing." You know, like it was just, oh, it was fucking great. I loved it.
It's fantastic. Van Damme's in it. Stallone's kind of in it.
Kind of in it, yeah.
Arnold can just crash through the ceiling and grab two bad guys and be like, "Hi," and turn their guns and start shooting them.
Yeah,
you know,
shooting them.
It's a cartoon. I don't think it works. I think it is a failed execution.
I love when he does chicken and then both cars just drive into each other and then he just gets out of the car and it's like a long take when he like drives away and then gets out of the car and he's just like, oh fuck, you know, he's all pissed off.
Okay, so your 5 is Nolan's 4. So do I do my 5 now and then we move?
Yeah. So Falcon's getting your 5. Go ahead.
My number 5 is the first film to successfully take Arnold as the action god he was, and bring him into comedy by making a good use of meta humor, and that's Kindergarten Cop.
See, Kindergarten Cop's what I struggled with. I mean, I would put that in my top 5 as well because it's also a really good movie. It
is a fun family-ish comedy that starts off as a hard R fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger cop on a mission of revenge out for blood.
So wait, before we go any further though, it is hard R. Who saw it in theaters?
I did. I saw it as a kid.
I did. All right. So wait, who saw it with their parents?
I did.
I did. Okay, great. So yeah, I saw it with my mom sitting right next to me. I remember being like, "Whoa, he just shotgunned that fucker right in the chest." Like he just took out that guy.
I like you, Sydney.
He basically sexually harasses a fucking drug addict chick.
That's Ivan Reitman who directed that.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I don't like nothing Ivan Reitman's ever done.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then it's a really hard R dark movie in the end.
Who did
like
twins?
The final like action
twins
sequence?
Ivan Reitman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did Arnold twice.
Yeah. He did Arnold twice, yeah. Kindergarten Cop was second.
So it becomes like all wholesome and cutesy as this hard cop has to, because of a twist of fate, you know, the lady cop has a stomach flu and he has to pretend to be the kindergarten teacher, even though he's really good at killing drug dealers, not like being a kindergarten teacher. But the movie, even though it has like super cute, super fun humor, ever so often it'll throw in that action sequence and then it culminates in the end. But it also throw in like fucking dark shit where he almost beats up this dad who's abusing his kid. Like,
yeah,
it takes the hard R, you know, Predator style Terminator and plants him into a comedy, and it works. They tried subsequently to just make comedies starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Junior and Jingle All the Way. It doesn't fucking work. Just have him be like a regular, you know, dad trying to get a toy for his kid on Christmas. That's Jingle All the Way. It's fucking horrible, a horrible fucking movie. But
love it.
You have him be Arnold first, and then God damn it, and then have him put him into that kind of movie. It contradicts it, and the contradictions where the fun comes through. You really both have watched Jingle All the Way more than once?
Oh yeah, Felk, it's my kids' Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that they watch.
Yeah, we should let our listeners know right now. I am a diehard Arnold Schwarzenegger fan, and I think Ballard's right there with me.
Yeah,
I respect him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Felk, you respect. Okay. I mean, to me, he's my favorite actor of all time, right there with Harrison Ford.
I think he's had a lot of missteps in life, or in his
Harrison.
movies.
No. Arnold's run from the 80s into the 90s is flawless.
Okay, I see a lot of flaws on IMDb right now.
That's why this
Raw Deal.
That's why that's a bad movie, and so is Red Heat. But this top 5 was really hard for me.
So was Red Sonja.
It was. I like Red Sonja a lot. Oh anyway, fuck, I love that movie.
Also, Phil, Kindergarten Cop. I mean, I think for me it's 5 out of 5 boys. It also produces some of the greatest one-liners you can think of for Arnold that people have used for crank calls for the last decade.
Yes.
It's not a tumor.
And it works because he's a fish out of water in the comedy.
Yeah. It's a great choice, great film. I love it.
Brutal movie.
Yeah, I give that actually, that's for me, that's 5 out of 5 boys as well.
All right, what's fourth?
Well, fuck, did you say how many boys it was for you?
Oh, every one of my top 5 is 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 5 is Nolan's number 4, and Nolan, that is
Total Recall. God damn it, Cohagen.
Oh my god, yeah. Welcome to the party, Richter.
What if they didn't go to Mars in the remake? What if it was like fucking like an elevator through the Earth? Is that better? That's better. Let's make it.
Anyway, and so what
the good version is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, what I talked about earlier was movies like T2 that transcend Arnold, and I think if you take Arnold out of Total Recall, it sucks.
Yes.
It does. He makes that movie. He's believable. He's funny. He's charming. The action is like top notch. I mean, it's Verhoeven at its best. It's fucking super violent.
And just think about how many really terrible Arnold fake heads there are in that movie, and it still sells the movie. Like, the movie still sells, even though Arnold's head explodes on Mars' atmosphere in a dream sequence. And it looks terrible that Arnold's head's about to explode on Mars at the end of the film. And then it also looks really terrible when Arnold's head comes out of the old lady mask that turns out to be a bomb.
2 weeks.
It just looks it looks horrible.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
I think my favorite part of Total Recall is a quote I heard Arnold like decades afterwards. He was recalling the movie Recall, and he talks about, he's like, remember that time I used that guy as a human shield and he took 100 bullets? That was amazing.
That's just a regular guy, right? That's not
head.
a bad guy. That's just a guy in the elevator.
It's a civilian.
It's a random guy on an escalator.
And the guy takes 50 shots to like his chest and back.
I think it's like second to RoboCop and squib use on one actor at a time or one stuntman at a time. But like, yeah, that scene for me, Total Recall as a kid, saw it way too early. And Total Recall for me as a kid, I remember that guy dying on the escalator for no reason. And then I remember 3 tits.
Yeah, of course.
I think everybody remembers 3 tits.
Yeah. That movie to me as a kid, it didn't even bother me. It was when Benny unleashed his alien hand, that scared the shit out of me, and like I almost had to leave the room. That hand was disgusting.
No, that was cool. Yeah, that was awesome. I remember that being like, that blew me away. I remember that being like one of the first major twists for me as a kid, being like, what? He's bad.
And then he turns the drill into Benny. Hey, Benny, screw you.
Screw you. Yeah, he really lays into that one.
I can't mention Total Recall without talking about the scene where, what's happening?
You get to fuck her every night. That's Melina, right?
Oh, he's talking about fucking Sharon Stone and being able to do it
every night. I love that line.
And then when he shoots her in the head, consider this a divorce. That's a great fucking line. But we can't talk about Total Recall without talking about the scene where he uses the hologram.
Yes.
Ha 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 ha. You think this is the real Quaid? It is.
Yeah.
Anytime you fake out anyone, that's a great way to do it. That's a great line to use.
I love how they do the tracker out of the nostril. I think that still looks great today.
And it's also a movie where it takes a throwaway line, like "See you at the party," and brings it back to the finale where Arnold rips off a guy's arms and throws him back at him and says, "See you at the party."
Yeah, that's
See you at the party, Richter.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't happen anymore because people can't take people like seriously that are doing the most ridiculous shit like we used to be able to do.
And that's why Arnold is Arnold, man, because a guy with a fucking thick ass accent killing people and saying one-liners, that's what makes him so special.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. And yeah, and then I think the other thing for me for Total Recall is that it was starring Rachel Ticotin, and she was amazing, and she was in everything in the 80s as the Latin chick.
What's your number 4, Felk?
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. My number 4 is a remake of the 1991 French film La Totale, a film by an insane Canadian named James Cameron, and the third collaboration with Arnold Schwarzenegger, True Lies, 1994's True Lies, a movie that made me sexually attracted to Jamie Lee Curtis, and then I found out she was probably a boy, born a boy. And then she started becoming an old lady with an old lady haircut who does yogurt commercials for yogurt that helps you poop. But in 1994, everything was perfect, and True Lies is a perfect action comedy.
Yes, I will agree. True Lies is a 5 out of 5 film. The reason I don't include it is because I think you could take Arnold out of that film and it would still be a good movie.
Not as good, but yeah, I agree.
Not as good, but it would be a good film.
His confidence and swagger in that movie sell that movie. I'm happy, Felk, you put that on the list because that one was an honorable mention of mine.
It's an honorable mention,
and I love that movie. And Kindergarten Cop, by the way, also was an honorable mention for me.
How could it not be?
But yeah, True Lies, I think Arnold is pivotal to it, and I think Tom Arnold is pivotal.
Exactly,
to it.
It's an ensemble. So Tom Arnold matters, Bill Paxton matters a lot to that movie.
And I think also one of the great things about True Lies is that it gave you really sexy Tia Carrere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it also gave you Eliza Dushku, and at the time for us, it was age appropriate.
Yeah, she was age appropriate for us.
Oh no, I had I pretty much watched Buffy exclusively for her.
I think she's fucking super hot.
Yeah.
Did you watch Dollhouse?
No, I watched. I think I watched it all. It was like 13 episodes. Dollhouse was not good.
Wait, Ballard, who created that?
Joss Whedon.
Oh, sensitive Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Oh man, how do I talk about True Lies? True Lies is the catch with True Lies is that James Cameron, he wanted to do True Lies 2 for a long time, and then this little thing in New York with some towers happened, and then he realized he couldn't really make a fun action comedy that deals with terrorists at the time. It is very much a product of 1994 when we could still kind of have fun with that,
with jihadists.
Yes, with jihadists, with death to Americans, those kind of villains, so it's a very much a product of the time, and as such, it perfectly encapsulates like what we saw in the 90s of like the heroic American who doesn't sound like an American defeating just abject villains. They're not really given much characterization. They don't need to be. Tia Carrera is given some of the character because she's just working with them. But every moment from the "you're fired" to the early action sequences, I like the comedy. I think the comedy works throughout it. A lot of people think that that's the weakest part of the movie.
No,
I love it.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the comedy. I love everything about that movie.
I don't like Tom Arnold, but he's amazing in that movie.
He's perfect in that movie.
Yeah.
And so is Bill Paxton.
Correct.
Bill Paxton is God rest his soul. Yeah, Bill Paxton was amazing in that movie as well.
Without Bill there, that scene, that middle section drags, and Bill makes it sing.
Yes, and
absolutely. Could not disagree more.
We can move on, but I do need to get your guys' opinions.
Could not agree more. I meant to say.
What did you say?
Could not disagree more.
This is the opposite. Before we move on, I gotta get your guys' opinion on the bod. Speaking of hard bods, of Jamie Lee Curtis in that one scene. Where
I pinched it off.
Fucking 13-year-old me had a bigger boner than I'd ever experienced.
Oh yeah, I've definitely rubbed it to that many times.
And you're fine for doing that. You're okay. You're not gay.
Why would that be making gay? Because she probably has a penis at some point.
Yeah, weren't you making hermaphrodite jokes earlier on?
Yes, I was. But even if you take the hermaphrodite out of it, now she's just a sad old lady who is the spokeswoman for fucking poop yogurt.
You know what? That movie started, and I wasn't sexually attracted to Jamie Lee Curtis, but by that scene, I was like, "Where the fuck did this come from? I am erect."
Totally, yeah.
That's a hard ass. That's a nice ass.
I am uncomfortable right now sitting next to my mom, who took me to this R-rated film.
I think I was sitting between my mom and my dad.
Do it.
Do it
more.
Do it more slowly.
Do it some more.
Do it slowly.
Do it slowly. Do it sexy.
Dance.
That's the car dealer from Casino Royale. That's like his only two like American movies.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the dealer, the poker
Do
dealer.
it.
That's good.
He's a French actor. Those are like his only American roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Do it more. Yeah. Oh my god. All right. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Let's move it on. But before we move on, I want to hear our boys. Nolan, how many boys would you give True Lies?
Oh, 5 out of 5 easily.
Come on.
Me too. Easy 5 out of 5. And Phil, you said your whole list is 5 out of 5, so I take it this is as well 5 out of 5.
If you can't name 5 movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger that are all 5 out of 5s, man, I don't get it. Has anyone given below a 5 out of 5 for any of these?
Yeah, so Felk, you did it. Yeah, you gave Last Action Hero 3 out of 5. So you're the only one that does not agree with one of the Arnold picks so far as not being a 5 out of 5.
And I'm thinking with my third pick that you might not give it a 5 either, because we're not walking men, we're running men.
No.
That was one I wanted to get on my list too, and I couldn't. So I'm glad you picked it.
Running Man is my number 3 because it's another film. If Arnold's not in it, oh god, it's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
But Arnold's in it, and the lines he delivers in that film are beyond ridiculous. And only Arnold could deliver them. And it is a fucking great movie that's totally representative of the 80s. You got to watch it. It's like, even if you watch it right now, you'll have a good time watching it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. The movie is incredible. And the movie calls out HD well before HD ever existed, and big ass 16:9 LED screens, totally called reality shows. I mean, practically, Game 2 Winter is practically a Running Man.
Well, Survivor, of actual real shows, because Game 2 Winter is just a fever dream.
I think Running Man flies under a lot of people's radars because it's a smaller film, but once you start watching it, you'll be like, oh my God, like.
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine.
God damn it, Ballard. I had queued that up on YouTube too. I was waiting for an appropriate moment.
Felk, I got a soundboard.
Howdy, stranger. Yeah. How are you? Hello, cutie pie. Hi, honey. How are you?
Okay.
Come on, don't bullshit.
This is gonna be a long soundboard.
And you know, I'm not sure about this, but it's either the first or second movie after Terminator where they tried to force in the "I'll be back" line, where it started becoming like Arnold's catchphrase.
Yeah.
So it's like before they jettisoned him into like Hell A, he was like, Gilligan or Killian, I'll be back. You're like, whoa, that was really forced.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they just took it from Terminator at that point, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, was that the first time it was reused? It can't be.
I think so. It was either that or Commando. Might have been Commando was the first time it was reused.
Did you leave anything for us?
Just bodies.
Oh, fuck. I may have to take a huge shit soon. I just felt everything move inside me.
What, Felk? What's going on?
I may have to take a huge shit. I just tried to fart, and I would have destroyed my chair and pants.
Felk, please take us in the shitter with you if you have to go.
Okay.
Felk looks a little stressed, a little sweaty.
Yeah.
So,
that's great. You'll shat yourself right now on the podcast.
Yeah, better not. Because I could shit in like 5 minutes. I'm efficient. I wouldn't even wipe that good.
Okay. Well, Running Man, does anyone have any disagreements of it being a 5 out of 5 though?
No, that's 5 out of 5 for me as well.
I mean, maybe 4.5, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah. I think if you haven't watched Running Man in a long time, you should watch it right now and you'll have a blast.
Oh yeah, I mean, fucking yeah. Running Man is one of those
It's
movies
a comedy.
that's like
it's a comedy.
But there's nothing that matches up with it, you know? It's just one of those perfect Schwarzenegger films that was just the epitome of the era and the time. It's terrible sci-fi, but it's great. It actually speaks to a larger issue, and it has everybody in it you want. And the very end is a fucking John Parr song, Running Away With You, as Arnold kills the fucking main bad guy by launching him into a fucking billboard. And then all of a sudden it just starts playing John Parr's Running Away With You. It is the most brilliant fucking ending ever. And then it just goes into credits with the song just fucking jamming as hard as it possibly can.
Oh, it jams.
5 out of 5, boys.
I'm not gonna make it, dude. This is becoming a dire situation.
Go into your number 3 then, Ballard.
All right, so my number 3 during the Felk shit crisis of 2017, my number 3 is Commando.
Okay,
that's my number 2.
Really?
Okay, so why don't we hold off on speaking on Commando until your number 2? But if I will speak on it just real fast, a falsehood of it is that, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger takes out the Cuban army. That is obviously not what the actual ending of that film is. But let's be honest. That's practically what this movie ends on, with him taking out a small Caribbean island country's army. And it's fucking an incredible movie, and I cannot wait to talk about it for Nolan's number 2. So that was my number 3, Commando. And I'll give my rating of Commando when we do Nolan's.
My number 3 is The Terminator. Moving on. Oh, God.
For listeners who can't
Terminator?
see the visual here, Felk is pretty much dying right now.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get it ready, and I'm gonna be quick about it.
I mean, I get what you included the Terminator, but at the same time, like, the Terminator is not really an Arnold Schwarzenegger film to me.
No, I disagree with that. I think it is the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Without it, we don't have
I don't know
Arnold.
if it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but it is definitely an Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
We don't have Arnold without it. And
I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, Michael Biehn does not sell this movie, sadly, for Michael Biehn. He does not sell it on his own, and no one knows who Little Hamilton is at the time. Yeah, this was actually the big Austrian oak.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It just to me doesn't have all the Arnold moments that we became accustomed to, besides I Will Be Back or Ayusa Kana. It doesn't have, like, you know, he was a villain in that movie. He's in it for like 20 minutes of screen time. Like,
He's a force of nature
exactly.
in that movie.
Oh, of course he is.
And I mean, even when he's being played by a stop motion robot skeleton, it's still him because he has that much presence.
I get what you're saying.
That's kind of true, actually. Yeah,
it is true, but also it's a movie that didn't age that well.
I disagree. I think it looks great. I mean, some of those scenes at the end do look a little bit bad, but I'm willing to accept them compared to some of the stuff I've seen.
There's shots in that movie like where Michael Biehn has to like break that car's window that were shot without a permit with like James Cameron half like directing and half looking out for the cops because that was a fly-by-night movie and to make a pretty much perfect movie that semi-legally like is truly only a genius could do it.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many scenes in that movie I'll be driving down the streets of LA where I live, and I'll see a place where they shot that film, and I'm like, oh my god, that's where they shot Terminator. Like I'll recognize so much stuff from that movie still to this day. Just very. Oh man, I think we're losing Phil here.
No, keep going. I just have to stand up.
I was gonna say that, and one of the great things about Terminator as well is that movie was written essentially at truck stops and behind billboards in a semi. James Cameron put that movie together as a trucker, and that movie was practically put together on the 5, and so that movie is really well done. Like from a pre-production standpoint, it was so locked down. His world was so believable. His future was believable. The Terminator effects were incredible, and you just don't jump into a movie and not know how to do those effects. I mean, he learned all that shit working also at a post-production house, right? Didn't like for Gorman or something like that, Roger Gorman or something like that.
I think you're right. I'm still confused. I'm still confused how Arnold jumped on a car and his hair caught on fire, and it became a perfect flat top. Because the first half of the movie, Arnold has like great 70s hair.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right.
And then also,
I'll be right back. Keep going.
Go shit. Godspeed.
He's going.
Please record.
I am. We are.
Did he take his phone with him?
No.
So the Terminator to me, I own it. I've watched it many times. I love it. But yeah,
I love it too. Felk's gonna want to talk more about this when we get back, so we should just stop. Felk is really shitting right now. Poor guy.
He is really shitting.
He's really shitting right now.
And he's sweating right now. He's trying to get back to us as fast as possible.
They're waiting on me. Nolan needs to go to bed.
FaceTime him right now so he can be on this. FaceTime him. So he can still be part of this episode. I know he'll accept. Felk will do anything for the benefit of the show. But I don't think he took his phone with him.
Benefit? I don't think he did either. Benefit the ladies.
He kind of just got up and like left.
I don't hear it over there.
I think that's his iPad in the background lighting up. Do you see that?
No, I don't. Where?
Like over there or there?
Oh yeah, there's his iPad. Yeah,
in the corner.
Something. Yep, that was it.
You could see it. It's moving.
Yeah, you're right. That was it.
See how it went off just now? It just went off.
Hang on, let's call it back.
Call it again and watch it'll turn on.
All right, testing again. Oh, yep, there it is. That's his iPad in the background. Maybe he's hearing this and it's pissing him off. While he's shitting, he's just getting this ringing. I love how this all started because Felk wanted to fart on the podcast and then he ended up shitting himself almost. Here he comes.
What did I miss? Did you guys talk about movies or is it just
we stopped talking about the Terminator because we figured you're gonna finally want to have something to say once you're relieved.
I'm good on Terminator.
Oh, okay. Well then how about this? So did we we haven't given our boys yet.
Boys. Oh, boys for Terminator?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on. Are either of you not going to give the Terminator 5 boys?
I might.
Okay.
What are you giving it?
5 boys.
I won't disagree with 5 boys. It hasn't held up to me. But I like it. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with 5 boys.
You know what? I want to check my Netflix real quick. I think I have an answer in my head, but I don't want to give it until I double check my Netflix.
I think I gave it a 4 on Netflix.
Jesus. It's
a movie I own it. I've watched it multiple times. I feel like if you've watched a movie like more than 5 times, it should be a 5, or you're just fucking like sadomasochist.
Netflix matches up with my opinion right now, and so that's good. So no, I'm not changing it. Yeah, I give it actually 4 out of 5.
Wow.
It's 4 out of 5 boys for me.
Okay. All right.
Now, if we want to go through Terminator's the whole anthology,
it's the second best one.
The Terminator's 4 cool boys. Terminator 2, doesn't matter which one I'm watching, is 5 cool boys, even though I prefer the extended edition. Terminator 3 is 3 cool boys, and Terminator Salvation is 3 cool boys, and Terminator Genesis is 1 cool boy.
I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, after Cameron walked away, the quality dropped significantly.
They're not even the same series.
They really aren't. And even Genesis was trying to be like, see, but we're the same as the Cameron series. And then it was like, please don't be.
No, God.
Please.
Genesis
please
is the worst one.
Yeah.
Genesis is by far the worst one. Because I don't mind Salvation.
Yeah, Genesis is a fucking train wreck.
So, all right. So, folks, number 3 was The Terminator. All right. So, that moving on to number 2. So, Nolan, your number 2 is Commando, which was my number 3. So, Nolan, why don't you start off us with Commando?
Commando could have maybe been my number 1 as far as a movie that epitomizes what Arnold Schwarzenegger is all about. I mean,
I agree. In fact, on one of my drafts, it was number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one-man wrecking crew against, like what you said, the fucking Cuban army. He just goes onto an island and fucking the body count's been tallied online. It's like 80-something, 88, 89, 87, somewhere around. Just in the last 15 minutes, he kills all these people. And
but then he's even amazingly formulaic in the way he takes out all the hitmen and the hired goons throughout the movie until he gets to the army. That's even fantastic to watch.
And like Running Man, I think Commando today should be watched as like a comedy. It's funny. It shouldn't take itself too seriously. It's I guess if you watched it in the 2000s, you'd be like, this movie's fucking horrible. But if you watch it as like a comedy now, you're like, well, this movie gets it. Like this, I know what's happening here and I like it.
I think in that movie when it was made, the director knew what it was. I don't think Arnold knew what it was, and that movie was always an action comedy. I mean, the movie practically opens with Arnold feeding deer with his daughter.
Yeah, that scene is fucking ridiculous. Okay, so I used to hike at a place called the Mount Baldy Trail. Mount Baldy is like a little town in California. And I was so fucking excited when I realized that this big red house that you can see at the beginning of the trail is Arnold's house from that movie. All of the opening is shot in the town of Mount Baldy. And it's got these beautiful little streams running for like 2 miles into this canyon in the mountains. Not a single fucking fish in any of them, and the streams are like would barely be able to have fish, and it's hilarious because they're fishing in one of those streams. No realism whatsoever. Yeah. It might as well be like the Three Amigos level of like cartoonishness, all of that opening stuff with her.
There's nothing realistic about Commando. It is a cartoon. I mean, the guy fucking jumps from an airplane like 2 miles up in the sky, lands in a marsh, walks out of it.
When he rips the seat out of that convertible, which makes him about 4 inches shorter, but still completely visible in the convertible in order to hide. What is that about?
There's no reason for that at all.
He could have just ducked down. He could have just ducked down in the car.
Then they flip the car, damage one side of it, and then when he flips it back over and they drive away, finally after dropping the guy and saying, remember how I said I was going to kill you last? I lied, and he drops the guy. It's totally fine. The car has no problems, no damage whatsoever done.
No, like I said, it's a cartoon and it's a comedy, and it played to Arnold's strengths at the time, which was this super strong man who was bigger than life. And that's what Arnold is, and that's why I rated it as number 2. That's why I almost put it as number 1, because it is the epitome. If someone said, what's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film? I'd be like, this is what it is.
Yeah, and you know what? It almost had an incredible sequel that was eventually canceled and rewritten and changed into a different film.
Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah. Mm-hmm. Die Hard was originally going to be the sequel to Commando.
I always saw it as an action movie, and maybe that's why I always kind of thought it was just a little too goofy for its own good. Maybe if I viewed it as a comedy, I'd enjoy it a lot more. I'd give it 4 out of 5 boys.
Oh, you'll laugh your fucking ass off if you watch it as a comedy.
If you watch it right now, you'll die.
Okay, well, maybe I'd buy that.
After the hitmen come and like after they take out his entire team. And then they finally come to Arnold's house, which, if I'm not mistaken, his character's name is John Matrix. He they
what nationality is that anyway? Matrix.
It's zero nationality.
Austrian.
And so when they come into this house and he takes them out systematically, but then he barrels down the hill after them with his daughter in the car or whatever, and it's just this scene of this repetitive of him just driving straight down a hill, and then like meanwhile cutting these guys watching this car driving down the hill, and so it's like over and over practically again the same shot. It's not the exact same shot over and over again, but it's very similar in edits. It's like it's very repetitive.
Yeah, and Commando's a movie where Arnold could be running, then he pulls up his gun to shoot, cuts to an explosion, cuts back to Arnold flipping out a shotgun, shoots, cuts to an explosion, cuts back to Arnold flipping around a grenade launcher, fires it, cuts back to an explosion with 15 people dying. That's how the whole last scene works, and like just it keeps going, and that's why it's so funny.
Oh yeah, I love when he cuts the guy's arm off from the shed in Cuba, quote unquote Cuba, and then instead of having a bone, there's a vein, a giant vein spitting out blood. Like it's just a tube where a bone should be. It's amazing.
That seems like an interlude. Like it's like a break in the action. Like, hey, guess what? Here's Arnold surrounded by a shed by 10 dudes. Let's watch how he kills them all with gardening tools.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Let's take a moment and see what happens here. You know, it became like a Looney Tunes all of a sudden.
Then classic 80s, it cuts to Arnold picking up a machine gun, firing it in a rose garden. But we don't see Arnold firing the machine gun. We see his fucking pecs and biceps firing the machine gun.
That's all you needed.
It's a tight shot on pecs vibrating, tight shot on biceps vibrating, tight shot on like the muzzle flash. That's all you needed.
I love when you see the wide shots of the buildings exploding, and then you just see clearly the dummies strapped to wooden poles.
Oh yeah, and countless shots of like the 80s and 90s films where you saw like the air ram of like a guy being like flipped in the air, like it just showed up at the bottom of the shot.
Oh yeah, back in the day where they did the most amazing thing, where they would do flips and gymnastics.
That's why it's so good. It's a comedy.
Yeah, it's amazing. But at the time, they didn't take it that way. That's one of the things about the 80s I love so much. It's a whole generation that took itself seriously. So when we look back at it and you go, that's silly. Well, they didn't think so. They thought it was fucking incredible.
Yeah, no, I feel like it has to be viewed with that sense of irony, because if you view it just straight as a movie,
it does.
It's bad.
I mean, the movie ends with like a line we said earlier.
Leave anything for us? Just bodies. I'd just like you to start off your unit again, John. All it would take is you're coming back. This was the last time.
Hang on.
Until the next time.
He sees the hot, sexy chick. Looks back at the general.
No chance.
That's how the movie ends.
Wait, is that Arnold saying no chance?
Yeah. The movie ends. He goes, no chance. And he smiles and it freeze frames on him, and that's how the movie ends.
That's dumb.
It's fucking amazing.
Oh, it's super dumb. But that's what Commando's fantastic. If you want to have a great time, turn on Commando.
All right.
5 out of 5 boys.
5 out of 5 boys. All right. Well, okay. So my number 2 is Predator.
Yeah, that's everyone's. That's my number 2 as well.
Okay, great. Well, then let's share our number 2s together. Twosies. So, Phelps, what do you like about Predator?
In a word, everything.
That's a great description.
I was trying to play the Predator thing, but it's because it didn't come up in there.
It's true. It is everything.
The fact that this is how it ends.
Yeah, with Shane Black. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Is it the first movie to do that, or did Top Gun do that with the character screens with their name and their character?
Does Top Gun do that?
Top Gun does that. Yeah, Top Gun does that. Top Gun was 86, I think, right? So Predator's 87, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so for our listeners, it's when the credits rolled and you got the actor and the character name. And
but that's from the 70s, I think, honestly. I think that's old.
No, it's a very 80s, 90s sitcom thing
it is. It is. That's very much. But okay, so possibly the hardest scene ever photographed since the invention of film is the biceps of, I guess, Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger colliding in one shot as they clutch hands. Those two, that is the most, like, that is, women got pregnant from that shot.
You've been pushing too many pences.
That is the most testosterone you could, like, if you just have to, like, give people testosterone. That shot is it, and it just encompasses the entire movie. It is the most masculine thing ever put on film, and it's got nerdy sci-fi in it as well. But that's part of masculinity. It's got everything that is masculinity in one movie.
Yeah, and let me interject real quick here, guys, because it is my number one film, and so we should just talk about it right now.
Yeah,
to me, Predator is the first movie I ever saw Arnold Schwarzenegger in. It came on like on a Sunday afternoon when they used to play movies on like your regular ABC, CBS, whatever cable.
Oh, you saw it edited.
Stick around.
Yeah, I saw it edited for sure as like a 7-year-old or something. And it came on and I was like, this movie is awesome, first of all. And then who's this guy taking on this fucking awesome Predator that I've watched for the last hour? And my mom told me it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And from that moment forward, he was my greatest hero. This guy fucking killed the Predator. There was no questions asked. He was my favorite actor of all time from that point on. So that's why Predator would be my number one film, because it's Arnold one-on-one against a Predator. Like, you don't get any better than that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the fact that it's not even a sci-fi movie for like the first 45 minutes, and it just kind of gradually goes in there. It's a better Commando than Commando. I mean, it's just a standard men on a mission action movie, and all that stuff's handled perfectly. The Arnold Schwarzenegger, goofy parts like Stick Around are just thrown in there, but they're not like, they don't set the tone. So then when it makes that gradual shift as they start to realize what's really going on, what the Predator is, and that they're dealing with the devil that makes trophies of men, it's perfect. It's perfect execution of two simple ideas meshed together.
Absolutely, and great simple cast, like a really simple cast, and it's fantastic.
Two governors, two future governors.
3 governors.
no, two future governors. Sonny, whatever his name is, the Native American
Landham.
guy. Yeah,
Sonny Landham.
He ran.
Was a governor too.
Yeah, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
He ran for governor. He did not win.
Well,
and of course, the Predator also ran for governor of Florida.
Kevin Peter Hall.
No, the alien.
Oh. I ain't got time to bleed.
The fact that the Predator was created by Stan Winston on an airplane, just as like a favor to McTiernan, is like, that guy just whipped that out of his fucking ass. Like,
and it's a timeless design as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just another little bit of trivia about Predator is that Carl Weathers, while bullshitting around on the set with the producer Joel Silver, came up with the idea for Action Jackson, and they made that movie a few years later.
Oh yeah,
a year later, I think.
I think you're talking about the bicep thing, where like he tricked. I guess that was Ventura into thinking that like he had bigger biceps than him, or Ventura tried to trick Arnold Schwarzenegger into thinking that Ventura had like bigger biceps. So he made him measure.
Can you imagine the time, Ballard, like back in the 80s, you and I could have pitched 100 movies a day and gotten
easy. Easy. We would have been powerhouses, dude. We would have had pink and white suits.
Here's a guy. He's very muscular. He's very sweaty. He's a cop.
Yeah.
He takes on German terrorists. Green
1/3 of the movie, he's in his underwear.
Yep. You love it. Green light it. There's lots of titties. There's lots of sex. There's lots of violence.
When you guys made up like joke titles for comedy action, those were all The Perfect Weapon would have been a real title in the 80s without any fucking hesitation or anyone questioning it. Like the 80s,
Maximum Body Count is a great one.
With the martial arts expert, I forget his name.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No, different guy. Let me pull it up real quick. But the thing about Predator that I love is it starts as like a POW Vietnam film.
Are you talking about American
Commando
Ninja guy?
like such an 80 thing.
Are you talking about the American Ninja guy?
No, not him. But
like
then,
American Ninja. That was the title of a movie in the 80s. Like
it was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was a terrible movie.
I think it's Jeff Speedman is his name.
You
that
could
sounds familiar.
You could make a movie
right.
called Army Man, and it would get greenlit.
No, it's Jeff Speakman. He was like a guy he did like one movie because he was a terrible actor, but he was like he was winning all the competitions in whatever martial arts style he was, and at that time, if you were good at martial arts, you got a movie. Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yep, practically that's it.
But so what I love about Predator is it's a POW Vietnam film at first, then it turns into kind of like a sci-fi, The Last Indian. Like people are getting picked off one by one, but then it subtly turns into an Arnold movie.
10 Little Indians.
But it's subtle. It's not like a full-on Arnold movie, but it's like this is one-on-one Arnold versus Predator, and it's fantastic.
It is. It's great. So what do you hit? It's rated. So how many cool boys, you guys?
Oh, it's 5.
5 boys.
It is a perfect movie.
It still holds up. I turned it on like 6 months ago as a joke in front of my wife, who like hadn't seen it since she was a kid. And after 15 minutes, I was like, okay, we can change it now. She's like, no, I'm invested. This is good. And I was like, you're goddamn right it is.
You're goddamn right it is.
I think my favorite sequence is the dual montage of preparing for battle. Something about that is just so fucking cool.
Oh, I love Billy. I love Billy's final scene.
But Billy's final scene
hard.
is fun, but that's it leads to an off screen because like the build up is so cool.
Right? No, because the way I see Billy dying is like he didn't see it coming. It was really not heroic. It's this hardcore setup where he's just like cutting himself. He's like, "Bring it, motherfucker!" And then it's just this quick death. And that's why they did, I think, the Yakuza like samurai standoff in Predators.
To actually
they
show
wanted
it?
They wanted to actually show it. Yeah, exactly. They wanted to show what Billy did. But I think Billy died like the way we heard it. Like he didn't see it coming.
Oh yeah, no.
Definitely.
Billy went out like a bitch. He got stabbed within 5 seconds of that fight.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I love that. I love that when Mac fucking died that way too.
Predator walked up invincible and put the claws into his back or chest and lifted him up in the air, and he was dead.
Yeah. Carl Weathers kind of keeps fighting even after his arm gets blown off, though.
Kind of. He's just firing wildly until, or no, his gun. Yeah, his arm gets. Yeah, that's right. His arm gets blown off.
Yeah, he's got no arm. He's still doing pretty well if he's even getting shots off. I would have been like, I am going home.
I love Jesse Ventura and the way he died. That was my favorite as a kid.
Anytime.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Want some candy? God, Predator 2 is not as good.
That's Predator, Ballard. I think one of the first moments you and I met, I
masturbating,
I
Ballard?
gave you something and I said, or you gave me something and I said thank you. And then either you or I said anytime.
I said,
we both looked at each other and went, I know where you're going with that. I like you.
No, yeah. So
I think we were friends from that moment forward.
Yeah, the way I remember it was that like, yeah, I handed you something, I did something, or I did some kind of edit for you, and I told you where to find it, and you were like, "Thank you," and I was like, "Anytime," or something to that effect, or anytime. Like it had the same inflection as the movie, and then I walked away, and then I actually walked back to your office for a second. And I was just like, "Do you know what that's from?" Like, oh, weird. I was just like, all meekly, just like, "Do you know what that's from?" And I was like, "I'm taking a chance. I'll figure out if this guy's cool or not." And you were like, "Of course I know what that's from. Predator." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, done."
That's a low.
That's how easy it is for guys to be friends.
20 years later, 15 years later, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Jesus.
That's that. All right. Okay. Well, then. So that was my number 2. That was Felk. That was your number 2. That was Noel. That was your number 1. T- cool boys and counting. 3, 2, 1.
Number 1. Number 1.
So Felk, what is? Oh, I guess then technically it's my number 1. So my number 1, I think it's going to be the same as Felk's number 1. So Felk, why don't we say it at the same time? Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Oh, Good job, Felk. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Was that close?
That was right on time.
My favorite movie of all time.
Absolutely.
Mine too.
It's the best movie ever made.
I just want to start off with my favorite thing I can possibly say about Terminator 2, T2, Judgment Day, is that there is a quote by James Cameron. I couldn't find it right. I mean, I could go hunt for it right now, honestly, but I won't do it. I'll just paraphrase. There's a quote by James Cameron where he says something along the lines of like, the sequence in which Arnold Schwarzenegger gets off the back of the pickup truck, gets on top of the semi hood, and then shoots with his blanks with the M16 or whatever it was, into the cabin of the semi and hit the quote unquote the T1000 in the cabin. Arnold did that without any wiring at all, and James Cameron said that he could not believe the balls he had back then, James Cameron had back then, to do a stunt with a major actor like that without any safety precautions whatsoever, and also the balls Arnold had at that time. This wasn't like a Tom Cruise era. Yeah. At that time, to just do a stunt like that without any safety precautions whatsoever as well.
Excuse me, Arnold stepped on the hood of that semi or truck and just shot shots into it?
Yeah, well, with blanks. But he did that all without any wire work at all or safety harnesses at all. He literally got off the back of the pickup and got onto the semi's hood all during that incredible chase sequence at the end of the film, and then ends up just holding onto the semi cabin and shoots into the cabin and with his M16. That's all Arnold for real, and that's all Arnold without safety precautions.
Basically, what you did with a Miata, he did with a semi truck and a much longer take with a $100-something million movie riding on it.
Yeah, with like a helicopter following. I think it was right. Was it a helicopter shot? I think it was a helicopter shot.
Yeah, I think
if
so.
if not, it was a fucking crane moving real fast.
It was either that or a follow crane. But the fact that he had no harness is still like. To this day, they would never allow that in any movie. That's a scene that anybody watching the movie, even then and today, but even then especially, would not have thought how fucking insane that is. And that is so fucking insane. And there are so many other wonderful moments that are more pitch perfect to the movie, that are more speak to the movie, more the epitome of the film. But to me, that one aspect of it that James Cameron even looks back and goes, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It's fucking incredible. He probably said, "What? Yeah, I shouldn't have done that." Well, he's like 7 miles under the water because he's a fucking insane Canadian man who is
under
clearly
incredible amounts of pressure.
I think for me, the assault on Cyberdyne, to the escape from Cyberdyne, to the freeway chase, to the finale at the steel factory is like one of the greatest 45 minutes ever on screen.
Yeah, but you know what? From the hallway at the Galleria all the way to the fucking LA River, that's fucking hardcore too.
Yeah,
Very
that's the greatest chase ever put on film.
Yeah.
And
it's all real.
It hasn't perfectly aged because with the advent of Blu-rays, you could very easily tell that it is not Arnold Schwarzenegger doing a lot of the driving stunts on the motorcycle, and also like a 25-year-old man doubling for John Connor. So
I don't think it matters in the sense that it's just still a real person doing it.
No. That's the key. Exactly. James Cameron did not have a problem risking a human life, even if he was like, "Well, I can't risk the star because if he dies, we have to stop making the movie." But the stuntman, if he dies, I mean, we still shoot tomorrow. It's like it's not that was definitely the thought process going into that movie. I was at the Peterson Museum not that long ago, the Automotive Museum, and they have like they have the DeLorean and the Batmobile and all these fucking great movie cars. They just had a random follow car from I think the Terminator. That was used by James Cameron. It's just a motorcycle attached to like a passenger car on wheels with no seatbelt of any kind, and they show a photo of him driving down fucking LA with a camera holding himself, James Cameron. No seatbelt, no protection of any kind, just following a somewhat orchestrated car chase. The genius of James Cameron is equaled in the like emotionless brutality of him as a person. He has no problem risking human life to make his movies. That stunt where the helicopter flies under a bridge in LA is still considered by like all professional helicopter stuntmen, stunt pilots. We should never have done that. That's not safe. You cannot do that.
and they would never do that again. That would be completely CGI right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or they would have a helicopter fly low, but they CGI the bridge over it. Yeah.
Exactly. But you can tell that's why it makes it so great.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the movie is so great is the blood and sweat that goes into it.
Yeah, because you get a pucker factor when that fucking helicopter goes under that bridge. You're like, oh, your asshole fucking puckers up. Like, you know it because it feels real. It is real. It shows up differently on film. It's chaotic and it feels like that way.
Cameron is cold, tactical, and emotionless, and his best movies or most famous movies are about killer robots. Achieving their goals. It's like it's a perfect mesh of subject matter and filmmaker and actor and Arnold playing.
You know what else says a lot about James Cameron? He's like on his fourth wife.
Yeah.
You can't do that unless you're a mechanical genius that doesn't give anyone else a second of your day, or you're not a fucking genius.
Be on 4 wives or what?
I just look at him as a consumer.
Yeah, moves on to the next one.
Yeah, just consume. You're done. I've utilized all I can out of you.
That's a nice way to look at it.
Catherine Bigelow looks pretty damn good for her age, I have to say.
Oh fuck yeah! All right, well, you know what? That was our top 5 for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think we all picked like obviously incredible films. So in a nutshell, essentially our list was concerned of Total Recall, Last Action Hero, Commando, Predator, T2, and The Terminator, and something else I missed. Right? Oh, Kindergarten Cop,
Running Man,
and Running Man.
Nolan, you surprised me. Because I thought you were gonna pick like Batman and Robin and like have like an ironic list like you originally did for Nick Cage.
Batman and Robin is on my honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, I mean, well yeah, the honorable mentions goes on and on for Arnold. I mean, you can't even like get through an honorable mentions list. I mean, it's
honestly
Conan.
To this day, if you watch Batman and Robin, he's the only thing watchable because he's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just want to do then a real quick honorable mentions. I'll just literally list off, I think, what our honorable mentions that we didn't mention. I'll literally think, okay, so Conan the Barbarian, honorable mention. Twins is an honorable mention.
Twins is horrible.
I feel like Eraser, I don't know if we actually got through that as an honorable mention or not, but that's an honorable mention.
It's
Jingle
watchable.
All the Way for me is an honorable mention.
Terrible.
Batman and Robin is definitely an honorable mention. The Sixth Day is an honorable mention.
6 days okay. 6 days pretty good.
Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines is an honorable mention.
I think it's highly underrated. I think it's if you divorce it from the quality of the first two, it's actually a really fun movie on its own.
I can definitely see that point. Expendables 2, he was good in that. Escape Plan, he was good in. That's an honorable mention. And I would say Sabotage is an honorable mention for sure. And Maggie, it was an honorable mention.
No, Last Stand you forgot about.
I didn't really care for Last Stand, but yeah, I'll take that then.
That's Arnold.
Well, we still got more Arnold to go, so those will probably get mentioned as we move on, right?
All right, so those are the honorable mentions, and that was the top 5. So yeah, so Felk, take us out of this, the show topic.
Schwarzenegger. I can never get enough of talking about what might be the greatest body ever to walk God's green earth. But it is time to move on to talking bodies.
All systems ready. 3, 2, 1.
I saw him out walking with his girl.
Oh.
Talking bodies. Yeah. Talking bodies.
Oh yeah.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is, as having sex with a woman and coming. And so can you believe how much I am in heaven? I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people. I get the same feeling. So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right? So, I'm in heaven.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron, 1977.
Wait, how was your shit, by the way?
Pretty good.
Yeah. You seem very light right now on your feet and peppy. Good to go.
All right, moving on. As always, Talking Bodies has us discussing the wonderful world of mega hotties and super babes.
And Cool Boy Nation, to enhance your body experience, strap on that hard drive and whip out that keyboard. And let's go Googling for some sweet bodies and dongs.
All right, so anybody got any mega hotties or super babes they want to mention?
No, let's just move on.
Yeah, let's just get right into the...
All right, so let's get into our top 3. So our top 3 this episode, Felk, is
Arnold Schwarzenegger films.
All right, so that means we're picking hotties from Arnold Schwarzenegger films with a body. All right, so I guess right off the bat, I will lay out a couple off the list, or I'll start building out a list, and we can kind of see what our top 3 are. So there's Vanessa Williams from Eraser, super hot. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis, as we already mentioned, from True Lies. But what I'd really like to remind us from True Lies is Tia Carrere. I think she's definitely on the list. We got Last Action Hero. We got Bridget Wilson. So fine. And then Total Recall. We have Sharon Stone. We cannot forget that Sharon Stone is on that film.
And a chick with 3 tits.
Oh, yeah. The 3-tit girl doesn't count.
I would put 3-titted alien with no character name.
But she's really not that hot of a chick, honestly, if you go back.
I know, but she has 3 tits.
I know, it's pretty hot. Terminator Genesis, we have Emilia Clarke, and she's really fucking hot. And I'm going to push no matter what. I will be pushing The Rundown, because Arnold has a brief appearance in it. And Rosario Dawson.
His cameo is 3 seconds long in total.
She does not count.
Rosario Dawson is my honorable mention, and as she will always be honorable mention, if not number 1 for me from this point on.
She can be a number 1 in a movie that fits the category, but that doesn't count as an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
There's also Eliza Dushku, but I mean, at the time of True Lies,
let's there's skating on thin ice there.
But we were age appropriate.
Younger. She's older than us.
Absolutely. And then Noli, you had a couple others to add to it as well.
Did I? I think you mentioned Sharon Stone.
Yep.
I had dead ones.
Do we Alyssa Milano, or is that in the child orgies section?
Child orgy section, yeah.
Okay.
Not appropriate.
The girl from Running Man. What was her name?
No, she's not.
Okay,
She's
we're
just
not including her.
No.
Who was Red Sonja?
Why are we not? Or is she too young or too unattractive?
She's not that attractive.
I don't
if you go back and
remember
watch
Running
her.
I thought she was.
Nah, she's like a Rachel Takata and like wannabe.
Who's Red Sonja? Is that Bridget Nielsen?
Yeah, but she's not that good.
You are just poo-pooing my ideas.
Bridget Nielsen?
Yeah.
No, I agree with Ballard on that one.
Yeah.
Not now, but in the 80s.
In the 80s?
Red Sonja and Cobra?
No. Too hard.
Beverly Hills Cop 2? Come on.
I mean, she's hot as Red Sonja, but
guys, I'm not gonna push it.
Not top of the list for me.
No, I'm not going to push it. I think the girls you named are great. I'm going to go with Sharon Stone in her prime. I mean, what boy in the 90s growing up did not want Sharon Stone, right?
Mm-hmm. I really like Tia Carrere from True Lies, and she was really smoking at the time too. And for me, honestly, Tia Carrere is probably number one.
Tia Carrere.
You've mentioned two girls that I've greased a gator to back in the 90s.
And then I would honestly go with my next pick would either be Emilia Clarke or
I forgot about her.
Vanessa Williams.
I don't like either of those.
Emilia Clarke, really? You don't like?
No.
Danny?
No.
What's the expression for her? Overrated.
I don't think she's overrated. She's gorgeous.
My dragons. Have you seen my dragons? Shut the fuck up with your dragons and show your tits again. Your storyline doesn't have anything to do with the other storylines.
Okay, so Amelia's not on the list then. Fine. So I'm willing to then go with Tia Carrere and then Sharon Stone, unless we find someone that we can fit in between them. And that would be amazing if we could find somebody that fits between them.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'm a big fan. So like, I mean, it's kind of hard to count because they're like way younger and this is older movies. But like, I like Robin Tooney a lot. I find her attractive. She's the whole reason I watched Supernova. I like,
she's End of Days, right?
Yeah, I like Jamie Alexander a lot, and she's in The Last Stand.
That's right, Jamie Alexander. Boom, there you go. So that's it.
Last Stand.
The Last Stand. So that's the list. That's for sure the list. So the list should definitely go Tia Carrere number 1. Then I also think Jamie Alexander number 2, and then Sharon Stone number 3. And that's Sharon Stone in her prime, Basic Instinct.
I don't like Jamie Alexander just for the fact that she's in a fucking shitty show that's like a ripoff of Memento.
Whatever. She was really hot.
She's okay.
She has no chest.
You should seriously go on Google and look up Jamie Alexander going to some. I think it was the Thor Dark World premiere, and she's practically.
There's nothing there. I mean, she's got a pretty face.
She's got as much tit as Gal Gadot. She's fine.
She's beautiful. Noli, seriously, look up.
She's pretty for sure.
Noli, look up Jamie Alexander, Thor the Dark World premiere. She's like rocking some kind of dress where her vagina and ass are practically on display the entire time. I mean, you can actually see her entire vagina.
I know.
It
slips just enough that you can. There's
seriously, she goes to this premiere and her whole vagina is exposed the whole premiere.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
That may have got her that role on. I couldn't remember the name of it fucking before, and I need to know what the name of that goddamn show is.
That dress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a vagina.
And her ass is totally exposed too on the other side. Absolutely.
Blind Spot. I never would have fucking guessed it. Blind Spot. There, it's done. After 2 months of that one being in my head.
It's a shitty show. You know, I'll put her on the list just as a sake to fucking move on.
All right, done. All right, fine. All right, there we go. So the list is officially then Tia Carrere number 1, Jamie Alexander number 2.
Isn't it Tia Carrere?
It's Tia Carrere. I keep correcting him.
Oh, all right. So the list goes then as this: number 1, Tia Carrere from True Lies; number 2, Jamie Alexander from The Last Stand; and number 3, Sharon Stone from Total Recall.
Oh, no, Bridget Wilson?
No, she's great, but she's not better than those 3.
I'm just gonna say Tia Carrere, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Elijah Dushku, all from True Lies.
True Lies had a pretty great cast of women.
I'm just saying that, but it's a good list.
All right. Well,
your list is fine too. I'm moving on.
Well, now we can't move on. You threw a contrary list into the mix. We're stuck in this.
Oh, God damn it.
All right, so you really want Eliza Dushku and Jamie Lee Curtis on this?
No.
I don't think it's appropriate to put Eliza Dushku in there, considering the movie she's in.
All right, fine. All right, so the list is going to be Tia Carrera, Jamie Alexander,
she's so fucking
Jamie
hot,
Lee
yeah.
Curtis.
No.
Does that work? Is that good?
No.
I think the list should be Sylvester Stallone, Tom Arnold, Bill Paxton.
There it is. That's
and
it.
Bill Paxton wins.
Bill Paxton always wins. No, he never does. He always gets second. It's sad. Moving on to Love That Dong.
Love that dong. Love that dong. Love that dong.
All right, you heard it, folks. Love That Dong. That means it is time to name 3 celebs and guess who has the biggest dick and why. And Felk, what do we got tonight?
Action cocks. But more specific than that, because these guys were in, I guess, a lot of movies together. I don't know any of them other than Predator, so maybe you could elaborate a little bit on that, Bellard.
Action Jackson, I think, was one of them.
Never seen it.
That's about all I know.
Okay, so 2 movies. Action Jackson and Predator. The actors are Carl Weathers, Bill Duke, and Sonny Lantham. Who's Bill Duke again?
Bill Duke is Mac from Predator.
Okay.
X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. He plays the same character that Peter Dinklage plays in Days of Future Past.
In what movie? The first X-Men?
In The Last Stand, yeah. In The Last Stand, X-Men, The Last Stand, Bill Duke plays the exact same character Peter Dinklage plays.
What's his name? Is his same name?
Trasker or something like that.
Same name, yeah. It's Trask, yeah.
Oh my
same
God.
character. Same exact character.
Did not know that.
Slightly different interpretations.
Slightly.
Yeah.
And eras.
But who cares about that franchise lineage and timeline? It is beyond fucked.
I don't know how Trask goes from a black guy in the future to a little white guy in the past. But you know, hey, movie making, folks.
Yeah.
That's why we have Days of.
Give me your days of.
Those genes were really changed by the timeline alteration. No way. That Days of still wouldn't explain it because he's a midget. He's a white midget before the timeline changes.
That's my joke. There's nothing explainable about that whole franchise. So I'm gonna go with Carl Weathers.
Okay.
Carl Weathers wins. Who's Sonny Landham?
No deal.
Sonny Landham is Billy, the Native American.
Oh.
Fuck you.
Ballard?
He might have a huge dong.
Stop it!
Ballard? Focus? You're derailing talking about dogs.
Do you guys okay? So what the folks may not know at home is that we spent many a days and nights at our job way back in the day together, where we all met, playing this essentially over the intercom at each other.
Did we?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
Okay.
or maybe that's right. You were kind of nights after we were days.
Yeah.
It worked out.
It all worked out in the end. So I'm actually gonna go with Sonny. Let's just dong it here. I'm gonna pick Sonny Lantham as the number 1 because I know the old.
I don't know,
no,
but
Let me finish,
are we?
I know the old theory is the black guy has the bigger cock. We have 2 black guys.
Okay.
So that doesn't factor in here. But what do we know about Native American cocks?
Huge.
I don't know. They might be gigantic, and I'm going to go with that just to be different. And also, he ran for governor. He seems pretty confident. I'm going to go Sonny, then Carl Weathers, then Bill Duke.
Well, I gotta look up rumors about Native American cocks now. I guess find out what's going on here.
Please do.
Yes, please do Google. Do Native Americans have large cocks?
I and is Billy? How tall is he? Is he 6'5"?
He's gigantic. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the tallest of all.
If he's 6'5" and Indian, I'm giving him the award right now on my knees.
Okay, that's a weird place to give it from. Ballard, you seem to be doing some research there.
It's the only place to give it from.
Oh shit! Native Americans tend to average at 5.3 inches.
Oh, that's small.
Really? Can you cite sources?
The source is Outhouse Daily.
Okay.
What the fuck is that?
So it's a
Men's Health magazine has released its annual rankings for biggest penis size by a race. And for the 20th year in a row, African Americans are on top with an average length of 10 inches. And then therefore it goes like this.
Wait, what's the source?
All Men's Health.
Wait
Men's Health magazine.
Okay.
African Americans average a 10-inch dick.
That's fucking
Right,
disturbing.
So this is the average as it goes from top to bottom.
God.
No.
African America This is how they wrote it. Africa, America, 10.3 inches. Caucasian, 6.1 inches.
Right.
Asian, 5.8 inches.
Okay.
Pacific Islander, 5.7 inches. Hispanic, 5.6 inches. Native American, 5.3 inches. And the lowest, guys from Utah, 3.3 inches.
Okay, so this is a joke? You just read as a joke?
I don't know, because that last one's amazing.
Don't read us jokes and present them as real evidence.
Well,
Guys
the
from
discrepancy
Utah.
between a black male and a white male is 4 inches, which is a fucking big deal.
It's not that big. It's not that big. Like 10.3 is not the average.
By the way, yeah, and I just want to clear this. There's no link to Men's Health magazine. There's no citing of that fact anywhere other than it briefly in the article. This is mainly information coming from outhousedaily.com.
Well, if we're
All right, so that was a waste of time.
Billy is out now. Now it's Carl
Billy
Withers.
is out. All right, I think Carl wins. Come on, Carl was Creed. That's enough.
Yeah, Carl wins. Okay, I'm good with that.
All right,
Carl wins. All right, so there you heard it, folks. Bill Paxton wins.
Talking about cocks is my favorite. It always leaves me refreshed and relieved. I am so gay and ready for our next cool segment. I didn't write that.
All right.
You were a fool.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk.
I'll shut you up.
Yelling at the wall.
Haven't you had enough?
Oh, yeah. When it comes to the day of the contest, I'm his father. He comes to me for advices. So it's not that hard for me to give him the wrong advices.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Pumping Iron, 1977. That doesn't make sense to me. What does that even mean? I am his father? You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's father was a Nazi. He volunteered to be in the Nazis.
So to be clear, this is about Arnold talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Lou Ferrigno. But it might be somebody else he was actually talking about.
How would he hear him?
Oh, poor Lou.
Cool Boy Nation, tell us about any of your funny or interesting Arnold Schwarzeneggers. Also, if you have any questions or more insights on our Arnold Schwarzenegger, then let us know.
No, you got to.
No, I am reading these literally every single week.
Okay. Then I'll type something better next time.
They never apply to the show topic, and I'm going to read it like that every single time.
All right. And obviously, Cool Boy Nation, if you have any bodies or dongs you'd like to mention and throw in the mix for us to review and alert Cool Boy Nation to, please let us know, as we always love seeing those bodies and dongs. All right, and also just to pimp out that YouTube page, Noli, we want to get an update on that Cool Boys review, The Shower. How's that coming along?
It's coming.
It's coming, folks.
Any day now.
You just get ready. When that drops, it'll sizzle. All right, and then Noli, that you had a Cool Boys review suntan lotion that you set up in the last video. How's that going?
It's coming.
All right, it's coming. Okay. Okay, so and then the other thing I want to get into real quick is the VR Let's Play Batman Arkham VR Felk review that you posted, and I wanted to ask you a couple quick questions about it.
Yeah.
So the first question I want to ask you about the play was that when I saw you going through that, which seemed really crazy, and you kept responding was, "Oh wow, they're really big." Was the Wayne murder and seeing your parents larger than you get shot to death right in front of you? How was that?
That was a cool use of VR because at first, so one of the problems occasionally with VR is that the scaling's wrong or you're too close to the floor or something. So it was jarring immediately to having everyone be huge, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then as soon as I got my senses and realized what was happening, I was like, "Oh, I'm short because I'm fucking like 9 years old."
Now you're little Bruce.
That's why I'm. They're everybody's gigantic, and I forget what I said like in the podcast or in the review. I'm like, oh shit, are they really gonna do this? Because that's a very traumatic experience to experience
at all, regardless if you're a kid or not. The whole Wayne murder, that was by far for me one of the first things when I was watching you go through the review. that was for me the first thing that I was like, this is fucking VR.
Yeah.
Like, this is utilizing VR.
Well,
like,
watching it in a tiny little box does not do it justice, but I guess that's how you experience it. You watched the entire thing, really?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay, so what did you like? Trying to do your best to even picture the fact that that was all around me and you know, completely 180. What did you like cursory kind of think of the experience from that way of experiencing it?
Well, I mean,
did it make you more interested in VR? Did that seem like, oh wow, that would be cool to experience, or was it like
no? Because honestly, well, if we want to get into VR a little bit, I mean, I guess you hyped up what's it called, Robotech?
Yeah.
One? What was it called?
Robo Recall.
Yeah. Right, and it's supposed to be like a good VR game.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was boring as fuck to watch and shit. And I didn't care for it at all.
Because to watch it, you have to experience it. That's all gameplay.
But Batman was interesting because it was cinematic still.
Yeah. There's a story.
Yeah, and the demo you did was still cinematic, and so that was fun enough for me. And I can enjoy you enjoying that. Like, I can watch that, and it's just like me watching anybody play video games. Really,
I can definitely see how that would be way more interesting to watch than Robo Recall. Gameplay.
Robo Recall is terrible to watch.
Yeah.
I could not watch the whole thing. I barely could watch the whole thing. I scanned through it mostly. I maybe watched like 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is dialogue. This is a Batman story. I could see why for a third party, especially you who likes Batman, would find this interesting. And it was a weird, unique Batman story too. So the ending, spoilers for Batman Arkham VR, is that Batman's basically kind of gone insane and he killed Nightwing and Robin.
Wait, is that how it ended?
Yeah.
I disagree.
I watched it. I don't remember it even ending that way.
That's how I interpreted the ending, was that the Joker toxin was making him go crazy, and the whole thing he's trying to solve the mystery of who just fucking beat up Robin and killed Nightwing, and because the guy like knew exactly how to defeat them, and he finds at the end that it was him when the Joker toxin had taken him over.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
It's a non-canonical story. Based
and I was gonna say, so Nightwing, Nightwing's dead in this story after.
It's a completely self-contained, non-canon one-off. Like, it's like a one-off what-if issue.
A one-shot.
Yeah.
So okay, well then, if this is a one-shot, I mean, even you know, the Killing Joke is a one-shot that ended up becoming canon. Where would this take place if it were canon? After Arkham Knight?
During it, I think, sometime during it, or maybe right before.
No, because Robin's alive in Arkham Knight.
No, it's not canon though. The canon doesn't matter, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Okay, so but this is before. This is after City then, I guess. Yeah, technically.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting concept, and the stuff with the Joker when he's going insane in the cell is kind of was very much a trip. I mean, I don't really know if you need to do LSD anymore when you can just do VR, because it's a very powerful drug. Did you like early on when Alfred was in front of me and I had Batman's hand and I was stroking his face? Yeah. Did you notice that part?
Yeah, it was creepy. I loved it. I love your old little Felkisms when you're doing that. And then for me, I mean, I think that one more than any of them, you took the most drink breaks. Like, that thing that seemed to like be really intense for you. Like, you were very much dehydrated very fast.
Yes. Well, being Batman, you should hydrate properly. I never really felt like I was Batman.
But a lot of it was CSI-like. So, yeah. I mean, it was kind of like you were right there with these dead bodies that were like destroyed, and you were like checking them out and stuff.
Yeah, it's just based on those parts of the Arkham games, I think, using the exact same tech. I mean, it's definitely it's like 30 minutes long, and it was $20. It's like it's an expensive ass demo.
Was that actually it? Like, I mean, that story wrapped up real fast. Like, there's no continuation. There's no downloadable content. There's
going to be a second video that deals with, it's about 30 minutes, the next 30 minutes or so of me looking for some Riddler puzzles that are hidden that you can then do. So there's like a little bit of hidden content.
Oh, right. Because Riddler pops up at the end. That's right.
Yeah. So, but other than that, no, that's the story. I was kind of like, I knew it was short. I did not know I would get through it in well under an hour.
Is VR commonly that short?
Yes.
I mean, Robo Recall was like an hour plus, wasn't it?
Yeah, but very repetitive.
Very repetitive.
Yeah. So I would say for like narrative content like that, yeah, you're looking at like 20 to 40 minutes for games that cost $20. It's a problem right now with VR.
I really hope for the next Batman Arkham game that they at least, like, if you can't play the in between scenes, like, show you at least a cutscene that you have to, like, you can at least do a 360 on. You know what I mean? Like, at least have a cutscene where you hop in the car and you're driving through Gotham real fast. Maybe you're not in control, but, like, you at least see it.
You wouldn't want to do that. That would make people sick as fuck. That's the catch, is that the motion has to be relatively slow. If you put people in, like, especially if they weren't controlling it, but even if they were, in, like, a fast moving thing, you get fucking queasy as fuck. Those roller coaster games I put on the fucking Let's Plays of VR, those are too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I immediately felt ill after one. You're like, I think you put a comment on the YouTube thing, like, do the red coaster now, do the other. I'm like, I don't want to have to experience that shit again. Those things are actually not pleasant. Like, I love real roller coasters, but the idea that your inner ear is experiencing everything that your eyes are makes it okay. When you just have your eyes feeling like you're on a roller coaster, it feels bad. It's got it. That's why most VR games, even Robo Recall, but like even Batman VR, you teleport when you move, because to physically be moving through the world, even on rails, is really unpleasant. That's something VR can't do.
Wow, not just from a perspective of they can't actually build it, but like,
no, they could do it on a technical level. It's the human body that can't handle it.
Yeah, you have to actually walk it. You need to actually walk the distance.
Yeah.
Or drive the car. Okay, wow, crazy. Well then, that being the case, I mean, this is going to make the next game much more difficult for you probably to handle. But then you should really do GTA 5. You should do that with your PC.
Yeah, that's there would be a lot involved there. That's not an official mod. That's like a
yeah. It's like
Reddit.
It's like someone just screwing around with the first person POV, right?
Yeah.
Well, you should still do it though and review it. That would be pretty crazy.
I'd have to. I don't want to buy GTA 5 for PC. It's like $60 still.
Well, I guess that was a good, I like your VR reviews, and let's get some more of those, folks. So I would love to see the additional Batman stuff, and if you can do GTA, that'd be great, and if you can do others, that'd be awesome too.
Cool. Thank you very much.
So Felk, go ahead and read that. So let's get into Would You Rather, Noli. So Felk, go ahead and read that.
Cool Boy Nation, if there is a Would You Rather you would like us to discuss on a future podcast, please email us at thecoolboyspodcast@gmail.com. And now for this episode's Would You Rather.
Cool Boy Nation, would you rather, it's the first time I'm seeing this and reading, let Arnold fist your asshole all the way to his elbow and then fuck your asshole until he comes inside your asshole, or fist your asshole all the way past his biceps and then fucks your mouth until he comes inside your throat?
So that's just gibberish. You just wrote words down, by the way. How would he come inside your asshole when he has his fist inside your asshole?
I'll go with the latter.
No, because he goes and then he fucks your asshole until he comes inside your asshole.
I don't even know what I just read.
How would he fuck your mouth? Okay, I get how he would fuck your mouth and come in down your throat, but how would he do that while he also has his fist up your ass to your butt?
No, when he's done fisting you, then he fucks your asshole. And when he's done fisting you, then he fucks your throat.
What's he fucking my mouth with?
His dick.
Oh. I think number 2 sounds vicious.
They're all vicious.
He's gonna fist my asshole all the way to his biceps.
Past his biceps.
Cum until he comes in it.
In your throat.
That's horrible.
This is both are fatal. You wouldn't survive. Have you seen his arm? You wouldn't survive having that inside you up to the bicep. That would cause
22-inch biceps.
That would cause permanent intestinal damage, and you would probably die of sepsis without immediate surgery.
And so the first one is him. He's fisting my asshole all the way to his elbow,
right?
And then he fucks my asshole
until he comes inside.
So he has his fist and his dick in there.
No, he's fisting you for a while, but then when he's done fisting you up to his elbow, he puts his dick in your asshole, and then he fucks your asshole until he comes. The other one is he fists your asshole until it gets to his bicep until he's done doing that. And then he fucks your face until he comes in your throat.
No, the second one is so vicious, I'm dead.
You'd die from the second one. You'd probably have severe damage to you from the first one. Right. I picked the first one. I also suggest maybe we need to come up with these in advance and think about them more.
Yeah, I just solved this on the spot, and I'm taken aback. But these are brutal.
I wrote this right next to my wife. Honestly, I was literally sitting next to my wife, and I was like, "What do you think of this?" She goes, "Michael, you're too much."
Yeah, no, this is too much. This is beyond what I would normally write. This is beyond.
Yes.
I know. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go beyond what you would write.
I think I'm taking the first one just because I might live.
Yeah, the first one's the one that's less likely to kill you. But either way, you're going to need serious medical attention immediately. Like the idea that his entire arm up to the elbow is in your ass, and then he comes in your asshole. Like the cock's going to do any damage to you after that? Like that's irrelevant. And then his entire arm up to the bicep. Oh, but then he's going to fuck your mouth and cum. You think you'd mind? You think you'd be awake?
I think I'm honestly dead at that point.
This up to your body would be up to your fucking heart and lungs. It wouldn't matter that a guy comes in your mouth afterwards. So it's the first one for me.
Okay, so I think we're all in agreement then. We all want Arnold to come in our ass. All right. That's easy. That was easy.
Not really the highlight of that part.
That's all right. Agreement. We all want Arnold to come in our ass.
Well, that brings us to a close of tonight's episode. Be sure to listen. New episodes of the Cool Boys podcast come out every Monday. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Cool Boys Podcast. You can email us at thecoolboyspodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. And you can find us on YouTube by searching The Cool Boys Podcast. Please rate and review us on iTunes at The Cool Boys Podcast. And you can donate to us on Patreon and receive special additional episodes of Cool Boys After Dark and a Cool Boys shout out on our normal episodes that air every Monday. You can find Cool Boys on Patreon at patreon.com/coolboyspodcast.
Yeah, and then I just want to mention our Patreon goals once again. Last time we spoke, our goal was $3, and currently we are at $2. So we should give a shout out to the two patrons who gave us the $2 on Patreon. So that shout out to Ballard. Oh, no problem, guys. And shout out to Felk.
Yeah.
Hey, according to Dan Quayle, I've been out of the country for a week.
All right. Well, hopefully by the next episode, we'll have $3 in our Patreon. Oh, and Cool Boy Nation, if you can donate too, that would be wonderful. We're trying to raise up to $135 so we can pay to have it do this again next year. So that would be great. So anything you can contribute would be great. And if you can get every person to at least do $1, that would be wonderful. We really appreciate it. So thank you, Cool Boy Nation.
Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from me.
That's Byzies from Ballad.
And that's Byzies from Nolan.
All right, that's terrible, Arnold. Whatever.
All right.
That was terrible.
That's Byzies from Ballard.
That's Byzies from Nolan.
You're cleared. We're good.
You are outstanding American boy.
You have excelled in all things.
I pump while I dump. Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Get out of here, damn silly. Get out of here!
Oh, yeah.
This episode of the Cool Boys podcast was brought to you by... Sorry, my contacts are glazed over, probably because I'm so dehydrated after that fucking horrible diarrhea shit.
Keep it.
Get some
Cool Boys.
So serious.